Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Big Finish Fans. In today's Big Finish Fans, we are doing the biggest tier list we have done so far. We are covering the fourth Doctor Adventures, basically tier listing Series 1 to Series 10, and a little bonus of Dalek Protocol. I'm once again joined with my tier list buddy, Luke.
Hello, everyone.
So while we wait before we dive into the tier list and prepare ourselves for Jelly Babies and Ginger Pop, what have you been doing, Luke?
Today I have been doing a lot of walking. I've been doing the Oxfordshire Greenbelt Way, which is basically like a 50-mile loop around Oxford. Not done a whole 50 miles in one day, doing it in parts. So, yeah, my legs are tired, but my mouth is ready to talk about Big Finish.
And what a good way to do so. Spend a Friday night talking all things Big Finish. For me, I've been obviously enjoying Dalek Universe. That's been a big talking point, which I'm sure we'll talk about in a future stream. And we've had Third Doctor Adventures Volume 8, which so far pretty interesting stuff. But I've been mainly watching Doctor Who, which has been nice to sort of not avoid expanded media, but just to go back to the source material and like watch a few episodes like Seeds of Doom, which has been pretty nice in memory of John Chalice.
Yeah.
And obviously we'll talk a little bit about John Chalice later in Trouble with Drax, which is quite nice. And also Empress of Mars. I forgot how much I love that episode. I mean, I'm a big fan of Series 10, so it was lovely revisiting that one.
Yeah, that's a lovely one as well. I've been going through the war games at the moment, actually.
Okay.
That's always a fun one to go through. And I think it's amazing when you get to like a certain point. It's around episode 7 when they end up back in the First World War. And you're sort of thinking how far the story has progressed, how far you've come since those first couple of episodes when it did seem like it was in the First World War itself that they'd landed. And then obviously some big revelations since then. But yeah, as like a 10-parter goes, it's definitely one that sustains itself well.
Do you sort of do 2 episodes break, or like how do you tackle the war games? Just out of curiosity.
Usually with every Doctor Who story, I'll go like 1 or 2 episodes at a time. With war games, it's more been 1 episode at a time recently, but that's just because of just time available to me. But sometimes I'm not something I'd watch all in one go. I think a 4-parter is probably the most I could sit down and watch all in one go.
I mean, I did sort of binge Evil of the Daleks.
That came out.
Yeah, and it just shows the gap between since we did our last stream. But yeah, in terms of, I mean, we can talk about the story because I'm sure we'll talk about the animation in a tier list.
Yeah,
but I did practically binge that in a day, really. Maybe because I was ill and I had nothing else to do. So I just went all out and had a good time with that. Actually, had a good time with it.
I think I did like first 2 episodes, then 3 episodes, then another 2 episodes, like across 3 nights. That's a interesting time.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a slow burner, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, I feel like with the first night where I was going for episode 1 and 2, nothing at all happens in episode 1 of note, really. And then episode 2 I've seen so many times anyway, so I didn't quite get the full experience there. And yeah, like a lot of it does drag a bit. It's not my favorite 60s Dalek story by any stretch.
I think it's one of those stories where fan legend has kind of put it on a pedestal, and then you experience it. Like, it's still a good story, but it doesn't quite live up to what people say it is. Like, I enjoy it, and I had a lot of fun when I first experienced it on like the soundtrack. Maybe because it was like this secret special thing of like a Trout and Dalek story, and now we've got it. Yeah, it's a good story, but I think I maybe prefer Power out of the two.
I'm not too sure. With Power, I feel like that was one where it was an all right story for me that was sort of ruined a bit by the animation, or at least my experience of it for the first time was. With this one, I'm not too sure whether it's the animation that's really bugged me with this one, or just the story's not that great for me. Like, it doesn't do it for me. Like, I know, like, there's the one scene where Maxtable goes off into the dark on Skaro towards the end, screams, and then Victoria comes along, and he makes her scream.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's all to apparently drag the Doctor and Jamie, or like lure him in or something, when they're already heading that way anyway. It all just... It's very messy and very weird for Daleks to do. Like, I feel like with something like The Chase, you can get away with more of that humour, because that's very much what that story's going for. And I do have a good time with The Chase. With this, it feels like it's taking itself seriously while being completely bonkers plot-wise. Like, the plot is just very thin and very messy.
I think it does. I think it's the best exploration of Tu and Jamie, I think.
Yeah, that's true. Like, Victoria's hardly in it for her introduction story. She does very little.
I was going to say I prefer the maid to Victoria within it.
Yeah.
I thought, is it Molly? I swear Molly has a bigger role within the
Molly.
story than Victoria, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's true. It's weird, like, with Tomb, you always get this bigger idea of her first story, where like you're just hearing about the Daleks and stuff, and like you say, it builds up that legend with evil. But now, having experienced it, it feels a bit... It's going to feel a bit weird going to Tomb and seeing all their scenes again afterwards.
Yeah, it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah, we can talk about that more another time.
Yeah, let's dive in to the 4th Doctor tier list, because we've got a fair bit to do.
Yeah, just a couple.
Well, just how many is it? 60 odd.
Where is it? So 6 by 1, 2, 5, 6, 8, 9, 12. 6 by 12, so 72.
Yeah, 72. So
yeah.
definitely get entertainment. Definitely get entertainment. So, do you want to do your usual introduction to your tier list, to your wonderful creation?
Ah, yes, thank you. So, right at the top here, we have Jelly Baby Worthy, obviously the pinnacle of all sweets. Then we have some Pineapple Chunk Worthy, a reference to the World Traders, a recent 4th Doctor story where the Doctor goes around offering pineapple chunks. And then finally, we have Humbug Worthy, not the lowliest of sweets, but compared to Pineapple Chunks and Jelly Babies, it's not quite up there, is it?
Not really, no.
No, but it's certainly one the 4th Doctor has a fondness for, and will go around offering to. And then we run out of sweets. We instead move on to quotes with a simple or misquotes, as it were. A simple rewrite would have been sufficient, which is referencing the 4th Doctor saying a simple no thank you would have been sufficient after he gets his Jelly Baby offer refused.
It's still got a sweet reference in there.
Yeah, there you go. Still managed to get there. Well, I'm not human and I've heard better, instead of well, I'm not human and I've seen better, from Terror of the Zygons. Are you listening to me? A common 4th Doctor quote, which applies quite well to an audio that you're struggling to get into. And finally, insert writer here is an imbecile. The iconic Revenge of the Cybermen quote, which may apply to some of these. We'll see as we get going.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna say, I think we've definitely give the 4th Doctor some love this year, because we did series 3, we've done Philip Hinchcliffe. Yeah, we've definitely had a bit of a 4th Doctor love this time for Big Finish fans. Yeah, and we're doing the whole range now. So far.
Yeah, we got the whole first 10 years worth, which is crazy.
Yeah, 2012, January 2012 with Destination Nervous. So have you? I think you've listened to this one, haven't you?
Yeah, it was a while ago though.
Yeah, because they were on, was it Radio 4 Extra in 2015?
Yeah, they stuck all of series 1 on there. Yeah. It didn't do much for me, to be honest.
Yeah, because we returned to Nerva. It's set right after Talent of Weng Chiang, and it does pay homage to Ark in Space, with the villain played by Tim Treloar. Got him the gig to be the 3rd Doctor, didn't it?
Yeah, because Tom pointed it out how similar they sounded.
And then 3 years later, we have Tim being the 3rd Doctor, and ever since given us wonderful recreation of the 70s of the Pertwee era. So yeah, this is the thing. We haven't re-listened to. Well, you've re-listened to a couple of these.
Yeah, I went through the majority of Series 7, which we'll get through, and I also did the Eternal Battle recently as well.
But yeah, for the
that's
most
not for a
part,
while.
for the most part, this is all off memory and I guess gut feeling. So
Yeah,
I
by the
enjoyed
time
it.
we started a re-listen from start to finish, once we get to the end, we'll have forgotten to start again anyway.
Yeah, that's true. And then
So
competing with the other releases as well. So I enjoyed Destination Live. I don't think it was a strong start, but I think that it was all right.
Where would you put it?
Maybe simple re-listen. Rewrite, sorry. Rewrite would have been.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
I enjoyed it, but I think Series 1's...
It's an oddity, isn't it?
It sort of plays very much on like nostalgia. Like, do you remember this? Do you remember Nerva Beacon? Well, here it is. And obviously, Series 1's one of those hard ones where it was rewritten because of, sadly, Elizabeth Sladen and Nicholas Courtney sadly passing away. So some of the stories don't fit Leela, really.
Yeah, I feel like it's trying too hard to evoke that 70s feeling as well, isn't it? Like it had the whole tagline of Saturday Night Tea Time 1977 all over again. But it doesn't quite feel that way at the same time. Like it's trying too hard with it, I'd say.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Then we have the Renaissance Man. Again, not one I really remember much. I remember it being quite confusing from memory. It had Ian McNeeson, didn't it? It's like the villain.
Yeah, is that by Justin Richards?
Yeah, that was Justin Richards, that one.
Yeah, it's because a lot of his tend to be a bit more straightforward, don't they?
Yeah, I remember like different time zones and all that sort of stuff, and yeah, I remember this one sort of not feeling very Leela sort of a story what fits for and Leela. I think it's more Sarah personally.
Yeah, I'd say, are you listening to me? Maybe.
Yeah, I'd agree with that one.
Yeah.
Then
that's one up.
Oh, sorry.
It's up to you if you feel like.
No. There we go. We'll leave it there. Roughly Icena. I think this is one of the better ones of the series.
It's probably the best of Series 1.
It's a good exploration of Leela, with her siding with Boudica, and it just explores more for Leela's dynamic, which I don't think you got on screen really. So I like the setting, fitted Leela's character wonderfully. I'm definitely thinking top tier.
Is this the only pure historical of the Fourth Doctor Adventures, come to think of it?
I think so.
That's mad that it happened in Series 1 and then never again.
I guess it works in the hour format though, doesn't it, really?
Yeah, it does suit that. Like Primeval Design was planned to be at one point, but as they developed it, they found it made more sense to throw some sci-fi elements in there. But yeah, I think it works very well for these two characters as a pure historical. I'd probably say Pineapple Chunk.
I'll agree with that.
Okay.
Right,
like an even distribution at the moment.
Yeah, it is. It's looking all right actually, compared to like the other ones what we've done, which like right straight to the top. It's a nice balance so far, and we've got plenty more to go. So it'll be interesting to see what it looks like at the end. Energy of the Daleks. I've got a soft spot for this one.
You got the vinyl, didn't? That was like the first Big Finish vinyl in that style, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was May 2018, and this was the first Fourth Doctor adventure I got. So I have a lot of fun with this one. Yeah, and I think if you haven't got into Big Finish, this is a really nice one to get into. I just think that it's nice and simple. It has that sort of, I guess, sort of 60s charm where they go to the future, but it's not really the future. Like they go to, was it 2012? So like back in the 70s,
where it's meant to be set, isn't it?
Yeah. So like in the 70s, that would feel very futuristic, but obviously, it's nice to have.
It's got like a moon base thing, doesn't it?
Yeah, you've got that whole thing with sort of Dan Starkey's character there and the Daleks sort of controlling it. So it's all great. And Leela being interrogated by the Daleks, real treat. love it.
That's like the concept art in the middle of the booklet, isn't it?
Yeah, with like the
Yeah.
little telly as well. That's a lovely little touch as well.
Yeah. I'd probably say humbug worthy.
Oh, I was thinking pineapple chunk worthy,
Oh,
personally.
I don't know.
I have a soft
You've got
spot
a
for
soft
it.
spot, I'll let you.
Travel. I mean, I don't have a soft spot for the next two.
No.
As this is technically a 4-parter, because is it like the first 6 series of Fourth Doctor Adventures where they sort of cash grab you by making you buy 2 releases to complete a story?
I mean, you could even say right up to series 8, but if you go to like the download individuals, but yeah, like, at least in the box set format, it works out a bit more.
Got a nice little chunk.
Yeah, but yeah, with these two, I'm probably leaning toward between Well, I'm Not Human and I've Heard Better, or even Are You Listening to Me Again?
I would say, Are You Listening to Me, personally?
Go for it.
Because I think it's just a bit of a runaround. It's nice having the Kralls back, but it has that sort of confused. Like the android invasion is a little bit confusing by the end, how it tries and wraps it up. But
this was
has
meant to come along and wrap that up for it, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I feel like it just hashes it even more.
Yeah,
personally.
They're a weird choice as the first like big returning monster to bring back. Obviously, you had the Daleks, but that's the Daleks. You're not gonna not bring them back with Tom. But yeah, it's them come along with the Kralls. They're a bit of an odd choice.
I think it's just to show, oh look, let's play nostalgia. You remember these from that Fourth Doctor series 30, season 13 story? Well,
one of the least well remembered Hinchcliffe monsters.
Yeah, they're definitely the weaker ones. I can't see many people going, oh, I want a Krark figure.
Like, I like the Android Invasion. It's a fun little story. But like, it does pale in comparison to a lot of the other Hinchcliffe stuff.
I wouldn't say it's the worst to season 13.
Oh, do you go Planet of Evil?
I'd say Planet of Evil was my least favourite of season 13.
That's what I need to rewatch, because I only watched that on horror back in the day. So yeah, it's been a while. Waiting for the season 13 Blu-ray.
That will be the last box set to be released.
Oh, probably they'll do a Terror of the Zygons, won't they?
It's got to be that.
It's your turn with these next 3, actually, because in series 2 I've only got Justice of Jalxar. So
okay, so I will blitz through these as quickly as I can. So Antimatter is very much it's a weird one, because Jonathan Morris, I think Jonathan Morris wrote this one. He's quite a serious writer. This is him doing a comedy and sort of playing off Jeeves and Wooster. And this seems to be like one what everyone seems to love, and yet I don't really like it personally. I think it's a bit of a weak start. I think I love series 2. It's possibly my favorite. I mean, series 8 and series 2 very close for me. But that's the weakest of the series for me. Sands of Life kickstarts a whole sort of series arc, and I think that it's wonderful. It's a 3-parter. It gets wrapped up in series 5 of the Fourth Doctor Adventure, so it sort of kickstarts that, doesn't it? With like the parrot. It's just a good one, and it's a story that has a lot of scale, and it feels like it belongs in season 16. And I think maybe because I met Tom Baker like 2 days after I listened to this, so maybe I was sort of in that hype, so I had a lot of fun with that. And then you have War Against Valarn, which is a continuation. So technically, this is a 5-parter, and I think that's humbug worthy. Good story. And then Just Jalxar, we've covered this in a Jagon Lightfoot.
I think you were kinder to it than I was, weren't you?
Yeah, I enjoyed
this is what I struggled to listen to. Okay, I've just seen it's nicely balanced at the moment.
We'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah, I'd kind of like to keep it that way. Put this in a simple rewrite would have been sufficient, and make it look like an E.
Yeah, that would work quite well, actually.
But I'm imagining you want to put. How high would you go with it?
I would go humbug worthy, personally.
The final decision is yours.
I think I prefer it to Beast of Krelos, personally, out of the Jagon Lightfoot ones.
I probably prefer that one, actually, but it certainly has some weaknesses to it.
I will put humbug.
we'll get onto that later. And take it away again with the rest of the series too.
Oh, Gods of Phantoms, I think, is a really nice, creepy, atmospheric ghost story. Because it's not like your traditional ghost story, and it's a really good one. It's a really good one, and quite a claustrophobic one as well. And I think that's very much sort of same level, really.
Just called it God of Phantoms.
God of
How'd you
Phantoms.
feel?
Oh God, do I call it God of Phantoms? Oh no.
Yeah, Phantoms of the Deep.
I'm just gonna leave now. Phantoms of the Deep.
People are gonna like quote you saying God of Phantoms is a really nice ghost story.
It's not. It's terrible. Then we have the Dalek Contract. Oh, this is beautiful. I love it. This has the best recreation of like Dudley Simpson music out there. I have a lot of fun with it. K9 fighting a Dalek. It's all wonderful stuff, and I think that it's brilliant. And then we have the final phase where you sort of have like a series arc with Cuthbert, as he's sort of like the main protagonist of the series. Because obviously, if you want to enjoy the Dalek Contract and final phase, and listen to Sands of Life and War Against Elan, and then you get this good old 4-parter. So I again enjoyed it a lot.
Does it work similar to Frontier in Space and Planet of the Daleks? Like that 5-parter and then that 4-parter? Not quite with it leading in with the Doctor's point of view, but like the way the plots interlink.
Yeah, I would say roughly. I'd say they roughly go together. Like you feel quite satisfied if you've experienced it, or just so you get the grander scheme of like where the characters are at, really in their life.
Yeah. Night of the Stormcrow.
Have you listened to this one?
Yeah, I have listened to this one. It's one I was quite hyped up for because it seemed very interesting. I don't think it lived up to it much. That's a bit of a messy one again. I'd probably go bang in the middle.
Simple re-listen?
Yeah.
I think this is one of the early ones I listened to. I remember thinking, oh, that's quite creepy, but that's all I really remember of it, to be honest. I remember it being on like a research facility. Felt very sort of season 15.
Yeah, it's like a telescope, wasn't it?
And
they were like, yeah.
Series 3, so we can fly through Series 3.
Yeah, King of Sontar we love, don't we?
We love that one.
It's either pineapple chunk or... No, I wouldn't quite go jelly baby. I don't know. What do you think?
I'd go pineapple chunk.
Yeah, we'll stick with pineapple. White Ghost, I say humbug.
Yeah,
maybe.
I think you enjoyed this one more than me.
Yeah, that's humbug's fair to it.
And then Crooked Man.
Maybe Simple Rewrite.
Yeah,
it's got a lot to love, but there's just some bits in part 2 that need a bit of.
Part 1 is structurally really tight, and I love the concept of what it does with like the land of fiction. But it sort of loses it. Evil One. I had a lot of fun on re-listening to this one actually.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that one.
Should we go humbug?
I'd agree with that. This is where we differ because you enjoyed Last of the Colophon more than me.
Yeah, where would you put it?
I would go Simple Rewrite personally.
I'd probably go humbug.
You know what? I'll let you have humbug because you've let me have a few. Well, I've had most of series 2, so I'll let you have a few placements.
Yeah. Destroy the Infinite. I think we both really enjoy this one.
It's very much Doctor Who Star Wars, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, I'd say pineapple chunk.
I'm in agreement with that. The Abandoned.
Pineapple chunk's getting quite chunky.
We're living up to the name there.
Yeah.
Will anything go into the jelly baby pot? We'll have to see. Abandoned.
I'd say, well, I'm not human and I've heard better.
Yeah. Maybe I was going a bit harsh. I think there's a good idea with the Abandoned, with like creativity and imagination.
Yeah, I think I did enjoy parts of it on re-listen, but at the same time, it was messy.
The sound design just seems a little bit all over the place.
Zygon Hunt, I'd say humbug.
Okay, I was thinking Simple re-listen, to be honest, but yeah. Okay, I'll let you have it.
I did have a good time with it when I listened to it. Maybe having it on vinyl helps a bit. But
I think Fourth Doctor on vinyl makes it feel even more retro. Like you've got a thing from the 70s, and like
he really does suit it.
Yeah, It's
I
just
suppose as well
beautiful.
because he had the Genesis vinyl, didn't he, back in the day?
Yeah, you feel like you're basically having Saturday tea time, 1977, with little record player. To be honest.
Yeah, it's brilliant. The Exelons. Not a big fan of this one.
I like it, but it's such a waste of Leela.
I'd probably get Simple Rewrite.
I'd agree with that. I think that I like the bromance the Fourth Doctor has with Tim Trelaw's character.
Yeah.
And that's all I really remember of it.
Yeah. I remember it has it's hypes itself up around this big twist that is very obvious.
There we go. Right, Darkness of Glass. I remember thinking this was one of my favourites of Series 4.
This came out not long after Philip Hinchcliffe Presents, and it felt better than Philip Hinchcliffe Presents, and still does feel better than any Philip Hinchcliffe Presents story.
It's just a bit of a shame that the monster in it is just called Demon, or I swear it's just given a generic title, which is a bit of a shame.
Yeah, it might have. I'm not sure if that was just in the credits though, and then in the story itself, it doesn't have a name.
It's what I need to re-listen to this one because I think this is a good sort of Halloween listen.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, I'd say Pineapple Chunk.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I was thinking that one.
I think it had a bit of a rushed ending as well.
Reckon for the Rocket Men. I like how it's sort of done in the Master's perspective of the Fourth Doctor being the villain. I like that. It's one of those ones where I first listened to it, didn't like it, went back and re-listened to it, and I thought, you know what, I get what it's going for, and I really like it.
Yeah, I like that little mix up with those two characters, twisting it. And I also like the idea that the Master does have to go around recruiting these villains at some point for his plans with the Doctor. Like we always see he's working with the Axons, he's working with the Autons, but we never actually see him go up to these villains and say, "Oh, you want to go conquer Earth with me?" And so this sort of gives us the start of that, but the Doctor's one step ahead of him.
I think this has got to be Pineapple Chunk.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Pineapple Chunk is proper chunky. Saying that, the Humbug Worthy's getting there.
Yeah. I think this might pad out one of the lower ones now.
I would say it's average, Deathmatch.
Yeah, bang in the middle.
Yeah. So
I think it's just one of those things where you can tell everything that's going to happen in it as well, even before the first listen.
Like going back to Requiem, that has a good ending, and you're so excited for where it's going to lead to in Deathmatch, and it doesn't quite live up to where Requiem leaves the story, really.
Yeah. It all just felt a bit too generic for me.
Yeah, which is a bit of a shame.
They rip into Suburban Hell, you're
right. Suburban, like a lot of people love this one. This seems to be like a big old fan favorite one for people who like the Fourth Doctor stuff. But this is very much Alan Barnes paying homage to, I think, a program called Abigail's Party. I wasn't born in the 70s, so I have no affiliation with the program. I just don't like it. There's just something about it that the whole mystery just seems a little bit. All right, I saw that coming. And it seems to be quite an emotionally charged story, which I don't really think suits the Fourth Doctor era well, personally.
No, I mean, it does later on, but in this story, I'd say not quite. It's like domestically emotional, isn't it? I suppose
it seemed like it would suit more like Eccleston Tennant with that sort of RTD kitchen sink drama. What you'd get, it doesn't quite suit sort of Tom's Victoriana Gothic,
Yeah, the story I can't remember much of it, but what I can remember of it's not working for me. I don't think I was as harsh on it as you, but I know you hate this one, so I'll let you put it where you want to put
it. Just to balance it out.
Yeah, we haven't got anything Jelly Baby worthy yet, and we're already on Series 4.
Yeah, we're flying for this. I mean, Kai said Requiem for the Rocket Men, definitely, and Pineapple. So yeah.
Yeah, you got that right.
He agrees. It's good. Cloistered of Terror. I like this one because I love the dynamic between the Fourth Doctor and Liz Shaw's mom. I think is
be interesting if we get to hear her again alongside Maisie Ashford.
See, I really wanted a series of Fourth Doctor and Liz's mom, and
Yeah,
I guess we're getting that now with Margaret. But I just think that would have been a really good little way of having a series with that. I just love it. And part one, I like. I think that's really great horror, but it's one of those ones. It's that sort of classic horror trope where you introduce the science element and everything you've built up with the horror just goes out the window.
yeah.
But
Like part 1 is very creepy. Part 2 is very technobabble and sort of drains all the energy out of the story for me.
I would go simple rewrite.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Fate across the sort of first part of the series 4 finale.
I really enjoy this one. I like the slower, calmer pace of it as the world falls apart in the background, and we just get the Doctor, Leela, and K9 off on a fishing trip, or the Doctor and Leela off on a fishing trip, while K9's having a bit of a meltdown as he's taken over by the Cybermen. There's something calmly terrifying about this one.
I remember liking the supporting characters within it.
They sort of have their home life being torn apart, don't they? I think you have
Which you,
some confusing timey-wimey stuff here that works better before it's explained in Return to Telos.
I would, for me, I don't think I like it as much as you. I think for me, it's like a 7 out of 10 personally.
I'd probably say humbug worthy.
I'll give it. I'll give it you. I'll give it you. There we go. Return to Telos. I love it. Maybe because it was that excitement of Tomb Cybermen coming back, and just hearing them in an audio was great, and just have them just being amazing, just smashing through walls. Trying to tie it to Tomb of the Cybermen, it just seemed a little bit tenuous, really, trying to link it to that.
Yeah, I think that's what does it for me. It's just a bit too bent on nostalgia in that sense, when it probably could have got away with just hopefully doing what Secrets of Telos is going to do, where that sort of follows on from it, has the same Cybermen we imagine, but isn't necessarily as closely tied to the plot with it. Because it's like awkwardly in that corridor scene, isn't it, with Jamie and Hayden, and yeah, it all just feels like a bit too much trying to force itself into Tomb when it could have been more its own thing.
Like, you look at the cover and you think, that's, it looks amazing. Leela, Jamie, great combo. Those characters seem to work because Leela's got a bit of a thing for Jamie, which I think was established in Fate of Krelos.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say it's like misleading, but the story, what's on
doesn't
offer,
give you much of it.
yeah. But I remember the ending being really beautiful. I remember
Yeah, it does have
loving that.
the music's great as well. This was like the first big announcement for me when I got into Big Finish, and and hearing that, it got me really excited. But I was let down by it in the end.
I think I probably, for me, it's humbug worthy for me.
I'll let you have that.
Just so it balances.
Yeah, I prefer Fate, you prefer Return. Yeah.
Wave of Destruction. Again, another vinyl release. This one caught me off guard. I didn't expect to like this one. This was one I thought, I'm not going to enjoy it. But do you know what? I had such a good time listening to this one. The villain reveal, what a great little shock, little surprise. Just having Romana and K9 being pirate DJs. Romana too going shopping and just not loving it because, Mary Tam's Romana. Should be all into that. But Lala Ward's Romana, totally not into it. And just the whole scene of them having breakfast and trying to, K9 just going all over in the TARDIS to, randomize the Black Guardian, not finding them. Sort of great little lead up to where you're going to Series 5 finale, really.
Yeah. It's very season 17 as well, isn't it? Like this whole of Series 5 really gets that vibe down and often tells some great stories within that. And yeah, it's just a nice little start, and one that works very well in the 2-part format. I feel like around now is where they're really hitting their stride with 2-parters, and it doesn't feel like there's a lot of stories before this. I feel like it was often the complaint of, this feels like a good story, but I would have preferred a bit more from it. I've heard a 4-parter. here we get to the point where they know what they're doing with this format now, and they can really excel at it. And I think season 17 as a style does quite excel in the 2-part format. In fact, I'd rank all the 2-parters above the 4-parters this
I'd agree with
series.
that, actually. I'd agree.
So I'd say Pineapple Chunk.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that. I think then we move on to my personal favourite of the series, Labyrinth of Buddha Castle.
Is it going to be our first Jelly Baby worthy?
I'm really inclined to put it there, to be honest.
I'll let you put it there. I haven't listened to it recently enough. I do love it. I maybe would lean more towards Pineapple, but I think we've got to put something up there for one thing, and I know you love it. So
I think for me, it's just City of Death, but in like Budapest.
Yeah.
It sort of plays homage to like Hammer House Horror with like the vampire, because I'm a big Doctor Who vampire fan. I'm all into that sort of stuff, and it sort of has great comedy. Mark Bonnar as the villain,
brilliant, isn't he?
Wonderful, wonderful stuff. And I
he works
just love
so
it.
well opposite Tom as well.
Yeah,
and really bounce off each other well as hero and villain.
And I know that he said recently he'd like to do an audio with him as the 11 with Tom, which I'm sure they'll do at some point. But the Tom stuff's recorded way in advance, so
yeah, we might have already done it, and he might have just been teasing. You never know.
Yeah,
He's not allowed to talk about it yet. But yeah, like again, it goes back to it feeling very season 17, because with this series, when they pitched this story, they were sort of saying, "Do you want to write?" I think it's Justin Richards, isn't it? No, Justin Richards did Wave of Destruction.
I think it's Eddie Robson, I think.
Yeah. They sort of said to him, do you want to do the City of Death style? Do you want to do the one where we get to go on location, even though it's audio? We're not limited by that, but it was sort of to fit that feel. Pick like any city and tell something there, and we got this brilliant story.
It's one what I can just instantly visualize. It's one you can just see like the dim street lights and just them just enjoying a bottle of wine in a cafe, really.
Yeah,
and just going all al fresco. It's wonderful. I like it a lot.
I suppose also Romana and Fourth Doctor, they've got that history with vampires anyway from State of Decay, so it doesn't feel like out of place for them, even though this is earlier.
Yeah. It sort of fits that sort of, I wouldn't say space dates, but you know, that sort of honeymoon period of Thor and Romana, really. Well, Tom and Lala, you can see them just having a whale of a time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, it went to shite in State of Decay.
Yeah, that's true. And it still isn't great now, but
there we go.
Yeah. Legacy of Death now. Oh no,
Paradox Planet. Very Douglas Adams 4-parter.
Yeah, it very much is a tight 4-parter as well. Like this, you do get some 4-parters where they feel quite separate, like Fate of Kraus and Return to Telos. There's a definite divide there. This one, it is one solid 4-parter.
I don't seem to like this one as much as everyone else. Personally, there's something what doesn't click for me within this one. Like I like it, but I don't enjoy it as much as other people.
I'd go humbug worthy for both of them. I think it is good stuff, but not great.
Oh no, I'm using the wrong one.
Oh no.
What's going on here? No.
Oh, Casualties of Time is getting above its station.
Where are we going? There you go. Back down there. Oh, you can go back up there. There we go.
There we are.
We're back on track.
Damn mouse.
It doesn't agree with our choice.
No.
Oh, Gallery of Ghouls. One we were fearful for because Alan Barnes did Suburban Hell, and as you can see, not a big fan of that one.
It was even in like the same slot, wasn't it? They're both the 5th story of their respective series.
But this one, what I remember just absolutely loving it. I had a really good time with this one.
It's another one of those ones where the cast is all having a really good time as well. I think that this also featured Stephen Critchlow, who sadly passed away recently as well.
Yeah, big part of Big Finish, especially subscriber short trips. Just short trips in general. He was the voice of it, and what a brilliant guy. So, God rest your soul, Stephen Critchlow. Amazing guy.
Taken too soon.
Really, yeah. That was an absolute shock because it was literally the same day of John I was going to say John Coleshaw, but no, it's not.
No, John Chalice.
Yeah, John Chalice.
Who we'll get to very shortly.
Very shortly indeed. Where are we going to put Gary Gould?
I'd say Pineapple Chunk.
Yeah,
I'll
agree.
Very good time. And again, it fits that horror well with the wax, but it also gets some good comedy out of it.
Yeah, it just really evokes season 17. Yeah, it's a good one. And it like you said, it sort of does the horror in a kiddie-friendly way with wax, you know. Trouble with Drax. Whoa, this is a surprising one.
Yeah, it's another one we weren't expecting much from, but got a lot.
Great twists and turns. Oh, it's one of those ones where you wonder why haven't they picked this one up again, really.
Yeah, it's a shame we haven't got more Drax.
I had a lot of fun with this one. I think it's John Dorney absolutely nailed it. I think it's one of the best actually from the range actually for me.
Would you go Jelly Baby again then?
I'm very tempted to. Very tempted to.
Yeah, we'll go Jelly Baby.
Let's go Jelly Baby.
Let's be nice.
There we go. We're not going to be nice now.
Yeah, let's be less nice.
Where's... Oh, hang on. I've put somebody... Where's Casualties of Time gone? Have I put... I swear one's gone in a different place.
Casualties of Time. Or is it further...
Is it further along? Is it in the actual... Oh, it's there. Sorry. Oh, it's by... I see it.
Ah, yeah, there we go.
I see it. I thought because my mouse went all over the place. I was like, is it gone?
As it ended up higher on the tier list than it should have done. But no, we're fine.
Right. What is Pursuit of History?
I'd say it's better than Casualties of Time, at least. I think there was stuff I enjoyed about this one. I'd give it maybe a... Well, I'm Not Human and I've Heard Better, or Are You Listening to Me?
I re-listened to this one, actually. I say recently. We're going back 2 or 3 months ago, actually. It was that one what didn't really click with me out of Series 5, because I'd say it's the weakest of Series 5, this.
Yeah.
4-parter, personally. But yeah, I enjoyed it, the sort of link back to Valan and everything.
Yeah, I suppose you had that previous connection as well, didn't you? What about Casualties of Time? Did you like that one? Or at least enjoy it a bit more?
Not really.
I remember it being very messy. I remember this being one of my least favorite big finishes. I'd go bottom.
Like the whole thing with like the villain of it. I kind of wanted a little bit more, because like the series hints at it, you know, and it didn't seem to have like the scale of what you want from it, really.
No, I mean, they were previously announced as well beforehand, so you're expecting more from them, but it is like an 11th hour arrival.
Because it's literally, you've got like is it something like the train, or like the mining that they're going to mine this valuable mineral or something, and it's going to make everyone rich, and
that's at least in one time zone, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a weird one.
Yeah. Beast of Gravel. Continuing on, Fourth Doctor and Romana now, shifting to Series 6.
So Leisure Hive, Meglos.
About.
Yeah, just about.
Yeah. I think this is very much the transition, isn't it, as well, between Leisure Hive and season 17 and season 18. So like just before Leisure Hive, it's still very dully in the music, but you do have the Howl opening theme. So yeah, story itself. I mean, you say you like it less than Justice of Jalxar.
Yeah,
I'd probably go Humbug worthy with it.
Oh yeah, I'll agree with that. But I think my problem with the story is it kind of goes into that sort of generic growly monster in sort of the second half.
Yeah, that's very true.
Like it's got good moments, like K9 being an actor at the Regency Theatre. Is it Humbug worthy we're putting out?
Yeah. And we also
just...
have like the good stuff about, it's funny, isn't it? Doctor, you knowing 2 ladies called Romana.
Oh, God bless Jago. I love that man.
So much brilliant stuff there.
There we go.
Yeah, you can never go wrong with those 2. Like even in the worst of audios, as long as you're listening to their voices, you've got something to enjoy.
I just think it's a joy just having those and Tom together, really.
Yeah,
They
it's a
just feel
shame we
quite
never got
wonderful.
more.
It's really, yeah. It'd have been nice to see more of them within the actual range. Maybe just have like a series of those traveling. I'd be down for that.
Like they very much sort of fumbled it up timing wise because they started Jago and Lightfoot just before, and so they got shifted onto Colin. Then Tom came back,
Bloody
wasn't
Colin.
it? Really, and so you sort the order of the Doctors wise, it gets a bit messy, doesn't it? And and then you have Leela there as well in Jago and Lightfoot, so they're sort of limited as to what they could do with those. And so, I mean, they get to do some stuff with Tom at least, which is nice, but you sort of think there's potential for more there that maybe they lost out on with the direction they went with the Jago and Lightfoot series itself.
Definitely
Yeah,
see that.
I'm happy with the little we got.
Yeah, I think it makes you sort of treasure it more, just having that finite amount of it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Eternal Battle. I re-listened to this one last night, and I really enjoyed it.
I love this one.
It sort of goes a bit Stones of Blood in the second half, but not as bad.
I think it fits season 18 though when it goes that hard science though, doesn't it?
And it's like it's shifted from something more spooky and very gothic. Is it? It's still like this science fiction setting just on a battlefield.
I like the sort of start with them wanting to go to like a pencil museum. How exciting! But end up meeting zombie Sontarans, and it's just like a constant war, which hence the title, Eternal Battle. It's by Mark Wright and Cavan Scott, two writers who have not wrote a bad story in my eyes personally.
No,
they always deliver for me, and it's I think for me personally, I prefer it to King of Sontar.
Oh, really?
Well, I don't know. It's one of those ones what I probably have way more hype for. If I really listen to it, I'm like, yeah, maybe I prefer King of Sontar.
Maybe there's sort of like two that I would swap around depending on which one you've most recently listened to. I'd say Pineapple Chunkworthy.
Yeah, I'll agree. Pineapple Chunkworthy. Yeah, I agree that the sort of second half does sort of let it slide a little bit, but still very good listen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to scroll down now to pick them up.
Yeah, we're filling up the screen, aren't we?
Yeah, this is a shocker. Silent Scream. What a good little clever title by James Goss. I think this is another good one actually. I think this is a cracker. Just the visual of K9 going down a motorway gives me endless joy.
That's brilliant.
The whole monster within it, great, sort of playing off sort of silent movies is wonderful and makes silent movies
to re-listen to before the the Ninth Doctor Cyberman story.
Yeah,
since that's going into silent movies. Metropolis.
Yeah, but I remember loving this one actually. I think that again, James Goss gets humor, but he finds the right amount for it.
Overshadowed a comedy. It's not at the not comedy, sorry. The humor is the comedy. Overshadowed a horror of it. There we go. They find a nice balance and don't like step on each other's toes.
Yeah, I agree with that. For me, I want to say Pineapple Chunks.
Yeah, I'd go Pineapple Chunks.
Because it was a surprising one because I didn't really think much of it when it was first announced. I've got to scroll up now to put it. There we go. It's there.
I love how it has the the sidebar as well, done in the film style.
Like a film strip.
Roll of film. Yeah.
It's good. That's a nice little touch. Defras, the most season 18 style story I think Big Finish have done.
It might very well be actually. Like this is very much when you're getting into more of that style, isn't it? Like the first three, it's sort of leaning between the two eras.
I think that this was a real surprising one actually. I was surprised how much I enjoyed this one.
I'd go Humbug-worthy for it.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Like I look at the cover and I think, oh, it's not that exciting, but listening to it, I just thought that was a really good listen.
Yeah. I think as well, Series 6, it's the most stories. It's like 9 different CDs. There's sort of like a lot that can overshadow each other. And that's sort of one of the ones that goes under the radar a bit, but it doesn't deserve to. It's a good one.
I agree with that. Haunting of Malkin Place. I really like the start of this story, actually, just sort of that journey to the sort of the horror to Malkin Place. Feels sort of very Woman in Black in a way, like this isolated house on like an island in a marsh. It just fits that sort of classic horror trope thing in a way.
Yeah, that's true.
Where should we put it?
I'm not. I'd probably go Humbug again.
Yeah,
I feel like it does lose it a bit in part 2.
Now I'm going to be honest. Subterranea, I have no memory.
I listened to that reasonably recently. I'm not sure how long ago, but it didn't do anything for me really. It feels very basic.
I'd say it's probably the weakest of the series for me.
Yeah, I'd say so too. I'd probably go, Well, I'm Not Human and I've heard better.
I'm in agreement with that. Mavellan
Grave. Got even lower.
Oh, no, sorry. Blimey. Sorry. There we go. Oh, right. Mavellan Grave.
I think I'm kinder to this one than you are, I think. This would be a good one to re-listen to in light of Dalek Universe 3.
And it seems a bit run-aroundy when you get the Super Mavellan chasing Romana
I
and
wasn't
the Doctor.
a big fan of the Super Mavellan, to be fair. But I'd probably say Humbug worthy. Me, if you want to be me, you can put it in simple rewrite.
I was thinking simple re-listen personally.
Go for it. I'll let you.
I'd say like it's 7 out of 10. I think Andrew Smith's done way better.
Oh yeah, he definitely
personally. And we have Mark Platt's 4-parter.
I really struggled with this one, to be honest.
Oh, I really liked it.
It took me ages to get through it.
I enjoyed it. I love the world what Mark. It feels very Chris H. Bidmead E-Space Planet, really, for me.
Yeah, I like the idea of the planet, like the ocean where you're walking along, and if you stand still, you sink, and all that stuff. And like you have the tribe, but them with their country accents didn't do much for me.
I mean, it's better than God of Phantoms.
Yeah, I'll give it that. I mean, it's at least over an hour earlier.
True.
I like the idea of giving Romana her own master in a way, but I don't. Yeah, I'm not sure how it works in practice, though.
Yeah, like it. Yeah, I see your point.
Yeah, like how high up do you want to put it? And I'll say how low I want to put it, and we can put it somewhere in the middle.
I was thinking between Humbug or Simple Rewrite.
Oh, really? Oh, so you weren't putting it that high then?
I enjoyed it. I enjoy it. But it's I feel like I need to re-listen to it to properly gauge like whether I would put it higher.
I'd say simple re-listen then. Simple rewrite will be a fair place.
We're going to say the same for Thief Who Stole Time?
Yeah, I think it's very much a 4-parter.
Yeah.
And a lot of it does blur together for me.
And we have the Sons of Cawdor, which we've recently re-listened to, so take it away.
Yeah, this is quite a recent one now.
Well, the whole of Series 7, I'll let you take over.
Fair enough. Oh, you got to have some memories of it.
Yeah,
except for you didn't finish Demon Rises, did you?
Yeah, I have memories of most of these.
I think, Sons of Cawdor, really great start, a lot of fun there. Doing some
very 70s
robots.
Very 70s.
It's interesting going back to it now after listening to the Robots Volume 1 to 4, having the Sons being a part of that. This being set after that and just seeing how it works timeline-wise, how they're sorting through all that. But yeah, it does very much feel back to 70s, but doing something different with them. And I had a lot of fun with it.
My only issue with it is it sort of the monsters within it?
They're very growly again, aren't they?
Yeah, I think that's my issue.
Yeah, they're not the greatest. I
Like,
think
I
it's
love the story. Like, it feels very Tom. Like, you can imagine, like, the low-lit studio in part 1.
I'd probably
Very
say
much.
humbug, maybe.
I'd agree with that. I'd agree.
And
Crow Marsh Experiment. I think that this is a nice tribute to the range so far. I think that utilizing certain of the characters like Strang.
It's very much a tribute to the Leela stuff, isn't it? What
Yeah,
they've done
very
with
much
her
so.
character.
Very much so.
It pulls on the heartstrings quite a bit as well. It's very arty, or not RTD Moffat even. It
Yeah.
very much is similar to Silence in the Library in a way, with the scenes where Donna's having her dream life, and it sort of takes that idea and does its own thing with it, really. And it is very good, very heartfelt. Another one that really does work well in the 2-part format. Like, it didn't need to be longer. It's the perfect length. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It does all the right things. I'd say Pineapple Chunk.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think that was one of the high points of Series 7 for me.
I think I also like that it kind of calls back to Omega Factor in a way. With like the setting, it feels very much like it would be shot in the same way to that show, where Louise Jameson played a role in both. And so yeah, it all gives me those kind of vibes.
Right. You're going to take it away for the
Yeah.
Mindrunners.
I really did enjoy this as the first half of the story. I love the Blade Runner-esque world that they've created here. It is, again, similar to your love of Skinner the Sleek and Thief Who Stole Time. It's the world building that really does this one for me with John Dorney. And he does a lot with it in these first 2 parts, where you have these, I can't remember what they're called, but it's this robotic afterlife where people have uploaded their consciousness into a digital thing, and then they're like a screen. Digitals, that's what they're called. I think that's a very interesting concept on this world that's running out of power. And then you've got the Mind Runners themselves, people who use this illegal technology to live other people's lives in a way and experience their experiences as a passenger. And yeah, I love the grit this story has. I love how it feels Blade Runnery, but it's British. It's got this almost 50s twist to it. You can really vividly imagine the world that's been built here by John Dorney. And there's a great mystery throughout it. And Mr. Shift is a brilliant villain. They were hyping him up a lot, and it seemed like he would come back in something else, but he hasn't appeared yet. So it feels like that's one of those things where they had this great creation and it's just been forgotten about. But
maybe because they record so many years in advance, they don't know the audience response to the character, I guess.
But a lot of things they do bring back even before they've got an audience reaction, though. A lot of things they have these huge plans for. So, but yeah, maybe it is down to that. Who knows? But yeah, I did really enjoy Mr. Shift. Great acting job there. And yeah, just so much great world building going on, really, is what sells this one for me. And then The Demon Rises, it's not as good. It sort of is where a lot of the mysteries are revealed, and it becomes something a bit different after that. Sort of the ending drags on a bit, and it didn't do as much for me. Mind Runners, I'd say Pineapple Trunk worthy. Demon Rises, I'd put simple rewrite.
Okay. There we go. Shadow of London. I had a lot of fun with this one.
It is a really good one.
It's sort of back to basics in a way, but with a twist.
Nice and simple.
With a good twist. Nice. I think that it suits the 2-part format pretty well, actually.
Yeah, it's one that doesn't need to be any longer, really.
I don't know how you could extend it, really. But yeah,
it would become too runaround otherwise. Almost risks being that as it is. But again, and one of the parts is only about 20 minutes, isn't it? So
I think that's maybe why you enjoy it, because it just flies by. And oh, that was a really nice way to spend, an hour. Well, 50 minutes in that case.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I'd say Pineapple. Oh, right. Okay.
I'll go Humbug.
Do you know
Unless you really want to go. Fine.
I'll go Pineapple. Because I did enjoy it. I did enjoy it.
I like the cover as well of Leela in the overalls there.
It's just nice little touches, isn't it? Just to help visualize and put you in that world, really.
Yeah. The Bad Penny, do you have any memory of?
I have a few memories of it. This was done by Dan Starkey, wasn't it?
Yeah, and he plays a couple of roles in it as well.
This is very much for Dan Starkey audio, isn't it? It's very much all him, which, fair enough. It's set in a hotel, isn't it, from memory?
Yeah, it's like almost a Faulty Towers-esque hotel where not much is going right. Time's going wrong even. So that's how bad it's got. And there's a lot of paradoxes around and stuff. And the Doctor and Leader very much get lost in this world. Yeah, it's just about them fixing a paradox, really. A bit Sapphire and Steel, but not quite. It's got a fair bit of humour in it. I remember first time around thinking this feels more like it would suit Romana 2 and being like a season 17 story. But actually, upon my recent re-listen, I do feel like it does work with Leela and does some good stuff with her. I'd probably say humbug worthy for this one.
Yeah. I was thinking simple rewrite personally, but it just becomes. I just remember Dan Starkey just doing like the weird monster voice. Yeah.
I don't remember the monster talking that much. To be honest.
It's just that strange like guttural sound, isn't it?
To be honest, I didn't know that was Dan Starkey, so he tricked me there.
He had you fooled. Kill the Doctor. This is an interesting one, this four-parter, isn't it? Because it's set right after, well, not right after, but it's set after Triumph for Sutekh.
Yeah, for Sutekh.
Which is quite an interesting way of doing, maybe it's Big Fish way of going, by the way, buy that box set. But I really enjoyed this four-parter, actually. I had a bit of a kick out of it.
I really did get a kick out of part one of Adra Sutek's cliffhanger, like right at the end, which, I mean, I won't spoil, but it's a great line from Tom Baker there. I don't know if you remember what I'm talking about.
It's been 4 years.
It's been 4 years.
But I remember it being sort of a bit like Destroy the Infinite, very sort of Star Wars, very futuristic. Let's go all out, and because it's audio, we have no budget, so let's just create this big, bombastic, high tech world. Really,
yeah, it's about as different from Pyramids of Mars as you can get, which I do appreciate, to be fair. But it does, when it's a villain like Sutekh, it's always going to struggle to live up to that. I'd probably say humbug worthy for the both of them.
Yeah, I'd agree with humbug. There we go.
Now we're catching up. Now we're in the new style
flying
of
through.
cover.
Flying through.
Yeah.
Sin Strain Kill.
Yeah, it's an Estrin.
Sin Estrin. It's getting late. It's getting late.
Yeah.
Right, we've got a Frank Skinner.
Andrew Smith in 2-part format again. Very runaround.
He
run around the police station for about most of part 2.
It tries and be like sort of a minder thing, doesn't it? It tries and does that. It's what I find weird about this is it doesn't build to like the companion entrance in like a TARDIS. It's just bam, it's there. Like it sort of throws that scene away, which is a shame. Personally,
I like that it does something different with that and how early they get that away, and sort of with the twist coming later, it being Anya, that almost works kind of. For it to be thrown away and for it to have something a bit different.
Yeah, I guess it just seems like a bit of a. You want it to be like a monumental occasion, really.
There's only so many times you can do that.
Yeah, true.
Maybe we'll get that with the what's Margaret.
She's like, "Where's the tea room?" But yeah, I just think Andrew Smith's just got so many ideas. He suits that 4-part format where he can just pace himself. And he's definitely proved it recently with like Return to Skaro and Hour of a Cybermen and Emissary of the Daleks.
Yeah. I think problem is, as police procedural with this, it doesn't go into that enough, and it also doesn't quite go into Doctor Who enough for it to be entertaining as that either. So it's this weird middle ground that doesn't work as either for me. Like I think you could have gone very full on police police procedural and had it be much more of an investigation. But I think maybe because of the limitations of audio, there's only so much you could do to make it not as obvious as to who the killer is, because that's not what it's about. It's like they don't even try to hide who it is, and it just becomes like gang warfare versus the police.
Yeah, it just becomes like a standoff on the reef, isn't it? That's literally the ending.
Yeah. I remember this very much did put a bad taste in my mouth and made me worried about this, because obviously we've got the Sinestron Syndicate. The whole arc is called the Syndicate Master Plan, but as it transpires, it's it ends up being going in a very different direction. And so thankfully we don't go down that. But I'd say this is my least favorite from Series 8.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think as well, Series 8 was such an exciting thing because it was a big finish, actually putting their own spin on the Fourth Doctor, giving him their own companion. And I think that it allows us to have a different side to the Fourth Doctor, what you don't get with Leela and Romana. And I think it was quite refreshing, actually, to have a new companion.
Yeah, I think that was as well the thing that we were fed up with Series 7 and why we were much more harsh on it initially. Like after my recent re-listen, I am much more softer on Series 7. But at the time, it was like, it's just another Leela series. We've had 3 of these already. We know we're getting this new companion next year. Can't we just get to that already? I mean, it's sort of similar with Series 10. We know we're getting a series of something different with Tom Baker off on his own. Can't we just get to that?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say it wasn't a great start. I'd give it probably Are You Listening to Me?
Really that low?
We haven't got that much down there yet. I'm just thinking.
Okay.
I'd say maybe the highest I'd go is Well, I'm Not Human and I've Heard Better.
See, that's where I was thinking of putting it personally.
Yeah, we can go there because that doesn't have much in it either, really.
That's what I was thinking. And then with Planet of Drashigs, I like this one. I really like the exploration of the Drashigs. Again, it becomes a runaround, but I think that's the nature of the beast of the story with what you're dealing with personally.
Yeah, I'd say so. I remember James, J. Alcom Reviews, mentioning that it could have done more location-wise. Like when you've got all these different types of Drashigs and like this big zoo where they're all kept in almost. They've got all the different habitats. You could have done more in those rather than just being it run around corridors.
Yeah, I see that.
But, well, I definitely take his point. I still get a good kick out of them running around corridors. I mean,
it's Doctor Who. If you don't like corridor running, then why the heck do you like the show? I would say either Humbug or Pineapple for me personally.
I'd go Humbug. I think it's fair.
There we go.
Yeah. And then Enchantress of Numbers. Now this is where it gets really good.
I think this is my favourite of the first box set. Of the first set. I love the scenes between the Fourth Doctor and Ada Lovelace in like the pub. I love the setting. But my one criticism is the Plague Doctors. They are one of those things what in history they lend themselves to be a Doctor Who monster. And the concept behind them is brilliant. But I just think they could have done a little bit more with them personally.
Yeah, it's one of those things of where it could have made an amazing 4-parter, do you think?
Yeah, I think it's one of those. But I still think that for me, I'm tempted to put it in Jelly Baby for me personally.
Ooh. I'd probably go Pineapple Chunk. I loved how it incorporates block transfer computation though from later on, but makes it very almost Hinchcliffe.
I remember there being a good scene between I was going to say Anya, Anne.
Ada? Anne, yeah.
Anne, with sort of like the butler character. Like it was there was some good bits for Anne within this one as well.
Yeah, that's true. I think this is when they're still sort of like, this is before you know that Anne's got anything going on with her as well. And so it works like you're still invested in a character. But yeah, more on where that doesn't work later. But
so Pineapple Chunks it is.
Yeah. False Guardian, this one was a lot of fun and like some shocking twists in this one as well.
I love this 4-parter. I just get a weird kick out of this weird sort of spa place.
Where everything's just going back.
And you've got sort of the Varga reveal was great, and sort of the time, was it like the time wind or something like that?
Yeah, how the planet had been devastated by the Time Destructor.
Like it really starts to build up where the direction the series is going. Like it starts to get to the meat of the series now. But we've had some nice fun adventures with Anne. Now let's get to seeing how it
It's
all
like very
sort of
much that
works.
RTD start, isn't it? With you go present or what would have been present for the show back in the 70s.
Mm.
And then you go to the future and then you go to the past. Now we get our big two-parter in the middle. And but only this is where it starts to differ from RTD as it gets more arc based.
We have John Coleshaw as a Zephon.
Yeah, you get some
Wonderful.
wonderful comedy there as well,
Yeah.
where one of the other inmates or patients is dressed up as the Doctor, asks to recite some lines, then just gets beaten up by Zephon and ripped to shreds.
It's so, and I think the scientist character as well. I can't remember the person who plays him.
I think he was also in. Is it Blake Ritson? He was also in
Maybe,
Dalek Universe 2.
maybe. One of the best like performances I've heard on Big Finish. Like genuinely, the sheer deranged black comedy within his character.
Yeah, he goes full on, doesn't he?
Love.
Does not hold back.
It's just you genuinely hate the dude for what he's doing.
But you also can't help but be entertained.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird sort of juxtaposition with it all, really.
I do feel like some parts of it get a bit messy. Like I mentioned that scene earlier, how much I love the Zephon ripping to shreds that patient, but
Sorry.
so like how it's placed in the story, I feel like it disrupts the flow a bit. Yeah, I feel like it's certain. I'd probably say Pineapple Chunk worthy for False Guardian, and then maybe
Yeah.
Humbug for Time's Assassin.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I'd agree.
It does take a bit of a step down, but it's still, yeah, a lot of fun throughout.
Fever Island. This is a bit of an oddity, really, isn't it? This one.
Yeah, I think I was mentioning earlier that with Enchantress Numbers, it works building Anne's character. This one, you get some stuff with that, but at the same time, you know there's more going on now. You sort of want to get on with the main story as well. This one gives you nothing of either. And so you're sort of like left not sure how to feel about Anne. And
Yeah,
so this story doesn't work quite as well where it's placed.
it's more of to give Tom something a little bit different, isn't it?
But he can't do it.
It's like a funny.
It's fun. You sort of like feel, yes, Tom, you're enjoying yourself. I like that. But I know it's you, Tom. You're not
playing a crap James Bond. Like it's a pastiche of James Bond, isn't it? It's very much a parody of that.
Yeah. And that's all. It's self-aware of that in the context. Like that does become part of the story as well. But yeah, I don't know. Just like the way it's done, it's just Patrick Troughton is an actor who can. He's really an actor. He
He's a
can play
character
all
actor,
these different
isn't he?
roles. Yeah. When he becomes Salamander, he becomes Salamander. You feel there's a difference between him and the Doctor, and you almost forget that it's the same actor playing both roles. Here, you just can tell it's Tom.
Oh,
And I mean,
bless
I
him.
love Tom. He's brilliant as the Fourth Doctor. He's absolutely incredible. But he's one of those actors who's a good Doctor.
And that's it.
He does not have much range beyond that, sadly. He has so much range within the Doctor, though. I don't want to say like his Doctor's one note. He is not.
Well,
He
I'm
can
going
do
to
so
say,
much great stuff as the Doctor. We get that.
I was just going to say, the
Chris.
next story, you get so much from him.
Yeah, but when it comes to playing a role that's not the Doctor, that's when the cracks start to show. Maybe he just hasn't found the right other role yet. Maybe Big Finish can find something else for him to play. But
maybe we need
every
to
time
listen
I've seen
to
him not as
Treasure
the
Island.
Doctor, yeah,
Give that a go.
I'd say I'm Not Human and I've heard better.
Oh, you think it's same level as? Oh, okay.
I'd say I prefer it to Sinestron, but
Because
yeah,
I sort of feel wrong putting it next to.
oh, I mean, yeah, I could stretch for a simple rewrite.
I'd say simple rewrite personally.
Yeah, let's go for it.
So because I remember enjoying it, but then you get this, and it makes it all worthwhile.
Perfect Prisoners.
Oh, what like this? John Dorney was top of his game in 2019. Still is with what he's done with Dalek Universe, but he has genuinely become the king of cliffhangers. This, because I remember speaking to you, like literally, you're like you're gonna binge this one, and I did binge it. It's one of those rare occasions where I binge listen to a story because it's so
it's
good.
got a lot of good cliffhangers, hasn't it?
So good,
Like, it
so
really
good.
does carry you through.
It is.
And again, all builds up to a very emotional ending where Tom Baker gives one of his best performances.
Arguably his best, actually. It really plays with that sort of happy clown, but inside is really depressed.
You get to see that a bit more, don't you?
Yeah, which is
and there's some
wonderful.
heartbreaking stuff between him and K9 as well.
Yeah.
It's interesting. We get to talk more freely about this now because Dark Universe has spoiled it all with the Anne Kelso actually being Anne Kingdom and your Kingdom reveal. But yeah, it's all great stuff. And I think if you're enjoying Dalek Universe and you haven't got these 2 box sets, it's worth going back and getting that backstory for Anne Sasanya.
I would say, especially to get more context for stories like The Lost and why the 10th Doctor's a little bit more reserved towards Anne at the beginning. Well, Anya.
Yeah, that's true. And it's also nice seeing. I think it'll be interesting going back and hearing how different the 2 are, like Anne and Anya.
I almost want to sort of do Series 8 Dalek Universe just to see.
Yeah, one big binge.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah. But I do feel like it gets messier towards the end. And I feel like the actual main villain reveal isn't quite as satisfying as it could be.
I think my thing with that
doesn't do much for me.
It gets rid of. I don't know if I'm spoiling it by saying this, like the delegates.
Yeah, so like
I feel like it throws them away
an
pretty
extra
quick.
twist in. It could have worked, but I don't think the way it was executed ended up working as well.
I want to say pineapple chunk personally.
Yeah, I'd go pineapple chunk. Like
Pineapple
it's not
chunk.
quite Jelly Baby, but
it's close to it. It's close to it for me.
Purgatory 12. We're into Series 9 now.
We're on the home straight.
Yeah.
Right.
My least favorite of Series 12, Series 9.
I think my problem with this story is it takes 3 episodes to get going. Episode 4 is where you're actually in the story.
Like it tries to build up these characters, but a lot of them I don't necessarily care about. The world's a bit bland for a 4-parter.
I think as well, my problem with sort of Series 9, it feels very samey, personally.
Well, the whole of Series 9.
Well, I think Purgatory 12 and Planet of Witches, where you've got Adric being
I think they even reference it, actually. K9 gets in very bad predicaments in both. And actually similar predicaments where he's... Yeah. Well, we won't say what he is, but we know what we're talking about.
Yeah. They just seem a little bit samey, personally. And I think maybe Planet of Witches does it a little bit better.
A lot better.
Well, I think we know where this story's going for you. I don't mind. It just seems weird how... I mean, it feels very Bidmead how it sort of ends with like a massive galactic chess game in a way.
Yeah.
But
that's not a metaphor, by the way.
Yeah. Like it seems like what they would be... It seems like it's more of a story pushing the technology of the 80s with like what they did like with Leisure Hive with like the Argolians being like replicated and all marching out of like the machines. It seems like it would fit that.
I like what they do with Adric as a character. I like how it builds on that like gap after State of Decay, and we get to deal with that grief a bit more. I think that's all very good stuff. And even the characters as well, how they're thrown together. They don't really want Adric there, and so
Adric storms off.
Lana Ward certainly doesn't. But yeah, it's nice how they use this as a chance to help these characters get to know each other a bit more, similar to Psychodrome actually, but Psychodrome does it better.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like everything it does character-wise is very well done.
The beats are there
Like
for the
the rest,
characters.
the rest of the story just doesn't grab me. You get George Watkins in this one as well,
Oh
actually.
yeah, Mark. Oh yeah.
Yeah, but this came out after the first Mark trilogy, didn't it? But
this is 2020. God, that feels way longer than
because
2020.
like this would have both these box set would have come out just before the
Pre-COVID.
pandemic. Yeah,
Blimey neck.
January, February. Yeah, but he would have played this role first, even though it came out second, because of just how far in advance they record. But yeah, I'd probably say simple rewrite. Or
I'd agree with that. Because I enjoy it, but it can feel a little bit sluggish. But I think that's Mark Platt is a person who pads stories out. Like, if Mark Platt's on there, you know that you're gonna get a chunky runtime with stories. And we have
I think he likes to play it.
Chase. Oh, go on, Karen.
He likes to play in his worlds. But yeah, Chase the Night.
Oh, my favorite. I absolutely adore this one.
Can we put in Jelly Baby?
I'm thinking Jelly Baby. I'm in full agreement with this one. I'm gonna have to move it up because of the screen. Don't worry, Chase the Night. You're not staying there.
Nah, temporary stay no more.
The villain's great. The concept of it, if you don't obey the captain, you're tied to the railway, and it's just an endless cycle of escaping the burning forests. It's
I
a
love
great
the
world.
dilemmas that comes up between the characters as well. There's like a great discussion between Adric and Romana where they're talking about how they should help these people and whether or not they should. And yeah, there's some great back and forths there, and it's hard to tell who's right a lot of the time with this one. And I think that's brilliant stuff. And yeah, it's very much it pushes the Doctor and companions like morals to their limits in this situation where things are very desperate.
Just go and listen to it. That's all I can say. It's a good one. It really is.
It's sort of, funnily enough, like with it being about a train. I've never thought of this before, but it's very much like that railroad track conundrum. You know, where it's like if you flick this rail, you actively kill these, but if you don't, you kill more people.
It's the trolley.
But
Yeah,
you're
it's
not.
trolley,
Yeah,
isn't it?
that's it. It's the trolley. Yeah, it very much plays on that, doesn't it? But on a larger scale of like, I mean, the Doctor could leave, all these people would die, or he could actively try to help. People would die in the process, perhaps, but he'd be saving some of them while condemning others. So what's worse there? Yeah, it's interesting stuff. Brilliant.
It's just the idea, like it's one of those ones where you can visualize this spaceship, what's been transformed into a train. Like,
yeah,
you can just
brilliant
imagine
for series 18, season 18 as well.
Yeah, you can imagine it being like the Starliner or even like the castle in State of Decay, like that sort of rocket.
You can see it like on the cover and stuff, can't you? It sort of has that vibe to it.
Definitely pays homage to that quite well. Planet of Witches, Hot Dodo's in it, but not Hot Dodo.
Yeah, she's playing a witch instead, or well, not quite a witch, but yeah, it's got some interesting stuff there. Again, it's like the what's State of Decay, isn't it? Where that's going with vampires. Now we get E-Space's version of witches, and I like a lot of the stuff it does with that, like with the witch hunters and their ships. The idea of knowledge being a curse, and like people prefer to be a bit stupid. Yeah, like you have the mental blocks and stuff. There's great little bits of world building here. Is this Alan Barnes? I think it's Alan Barnes.
I think so. Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah. You got the Wicker Men as well. They're great. The voices are great. The conversations with Tom Baker are great. I'd say Pineapple Chunk.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I'd agree. Much better Purgatory 12. Quest for the Engineer. This feels very typical season 18. Andrew Smith, great job, I think.
Yeah, so it's quite a epic scale as well, which suits the finale. I think there's a lot of interesting concepts. I love getting lost in this planet that changes and shifts itself. And yeah, I'd probably go Pineapple Chunk again.
Yeah, it's sort of like Pirate Planet, but without the humor in a way.
Yeah, it's very serious, isn't it? Like you get some moments of humor, but for the most part, it's quite dark. And you get a nice character with the astronomer guy who goes off with them.
Yeah, or the person they're trying to find, is it in there?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
there's like hints towards the way back home, but obviously they don't get there just yet.
Not quite. Then we have our lockdown special, Shadow of the Sun.
Yeah, which, funnily enough, sort of ties into some COVID issues in a way. With,
Literally anti-vaxxers.
Yeah, people refusing to accept the situation
Oh
and acting as
gosh.
if everything's normal. Also, I think the whole thing is, what is it? That's the thing about reality. It doesn't go away when you stop believing in it. It's like the line Tom Baker has. Again, similar to Jason I, it's got quite a big moral dilemma there, where like these people want to die almost. They want to fly into the sun because they believe that there's paradise there. The Doctor knows that there isn't, but how far can he go
Is it
to save
Helios?
these people who don't? Yeah, Heliotopia.
Yeah, there we go.
How far does he go to help these people who don't want to be helped?
I think that it's a good story for the. I had a lot of fun with this one, maybe because it was a lockdown one, and everyone seems to romanticize lockdown one. But I think
as well, it's the thing of with Fourth Doctor, especially, it's a novelty to get something announced and then released so soon.
It was that
even
light
more
relief
so where it's
in a
2
way.
months.
Yeah, it was a very quick turnaround, and we actually had a release date for it as well.
Yeah, 14th, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then we had Eccleston literally nearly a year after. Crazy. But yeah, I remember enjoying the camaraderie between the TARDIS crew and like, is it Leela learning the art of mingling?
Yeah, and she's like, "Will that do? Is that enough now?" The captain guy she's talking is just like, "What are you on about?"
So I think that it continues that sort of thing. What Big Finish have done so well with Leela's character is the teacher-student dynamic within this Fourth Doctor range, which we didn't touch upon with Series 3 because we've done a whole stream dedicated to it, so you can get our full thoughts on that dynamic in that stream.
Yeah, I love the autopilot as well in this story. That's a great, not quite character, but yeah, I'd say character. It's got quite a personality to it.
Oh, is that Barnaby Edwards?
Yeah. Are we having a wobbly?
It's very sinister. It sort of fits. It sort of feels very RTD, not a sort of gimmick robot, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, actually, yeah, it does. It's like it's balancing again that humor and horror again, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, is it an RTD or a Moffat villain where it's like "Have a nice day" as it goes into the pre-title? What?
I think that's Moffat.
Or is it Gatiss? Actually, is it Idiot's Lantern? No, maybe it's. There's definitely. I'm not imagining that.
I don't know. I've got it. I know what you're on about because I've got it in my head, but I just can't pinpoint the episode.
Yeah, like I swear it's "Have a nice day," and then we cut to the opening titles.
Oh, I feel like it's Series 6. But I think so. But
yeah,
I don't.
That's gonna have a mystery for another time. We'll remember at some point and message me. It was this.
It was that one.
Yeah. Oh. Anyone in the chat? Do you remember what we're on about?
I feel like it's a woman's voice who said it. To be honest.
Yeah, it's definitely a woman's voice. I think.
Oh, that's gonna annoy me.
Where do you want to put Shadow of the Sun?
I would say Humbug.
I'd probably go Pineapple.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I really do like this one. It's not quite Jelly Baby, but
we'll go Pineapple. We'll go Pineapple.
I think again, it's also like it's a special time.
Yeah. It was. It's always one we're going to remember as that was Big Finish. I guess maybe it was their sort of test to see, is this lockdown recording work? How does the audience respond to this new way of recording, I guess?
And it is mostly seamless. I think there are certain times where Louise Jameson's mic's a bit funny. But other than that, it's all really good. The World Traders are on to Series 10 proper now.
Will this go into Pineapple Chunk?
Oh, yeah, because it is the origin of it.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's good enough.
Part 1 is.
Oh, part 1 is brilliant. There's so many good lines, like where Fourth Doctor and Leela are just walking around London, just talking about the all-they-can-eat buffet and the naan bread she has.
I think that's the beauty of like Guy Adams' first openness, like Rise of the Humans. It gets that companion doctor dynamic so well. You know, and it's just a bit of a shame that this story sort of loses it, because I think you get sort of halfway through part 2 and you're like, what's this? Because this is it a sequel or prequel to Sunmakers? I think it's prequel, isn't it?
Yeah, prequel, because it is before K9 comes along.
Yeah. Yeah. Leader gets good moments with like Hunter the cat. I enjoyed that dynamic, but
what's the actress's name? Diane.
Oh, I don't know. I have to have a little Google.
Yeah, she's certainly quite a famous actress, isn't she? Like, a lot of prestige behind her, but it's not coming to me, I'm afraid. She's done quite a few other things. Like, she was in Lady Christina as well, wasn't she?
Oh, was she? Oh,
yeah.
I know you mean the villain.
Sean Phillips.
Sean Phillips. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, like she does a great job there as the wow, what are they called? Begins with a U, doesn't it?
Oh, season 15, not my area.
Yeah. The main monster from the Sunmakers, she does a good job as that. But yeah, part 1 is brilliant. There's a lot of great stuff there. I think some gags get carried over, like the naan breads come back where Leela uses it on a dinosaur, but it's all like worked better as a one-off. It sort of feels like it's overdoing it there. Yeah. Like a lot of the scenes of the Doctor waiting in the waiting room are great in part 1, but sometimes it becomes a bit of a runaround in the later parts.
Especially when you get the like alien troopers just running through the building. Like, is it the security chasing after the Doctor and Leela?
Yeah, I like a lot of the ideas they have though. The way the Doctor gets forced to work, the Doctor going through history is quite fun. The
That's a good
Doctor
bit.
like opening all the doors and like seeing it to be these different times. I like the concept of how they're selling bits of history as real estate. But yeah, just doesn't all come together for me in the end. A simple rewrite, I'd say.
Yeah, it seems a bit harsh because of how good part 1 is, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe Humbug where do you think?
So I was thinking Humbug because I had a good time with it.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it would be nice.
But it's just like there are good moments. It's not quite God of Phantoms terrible.
Oh no, nowhere near.
No, nowhere near. But it has those glimmers of good, but it does have those moments where you're like, it's a bit of a lull.
I think it almost hurts more because you've heard it be very good in part 1. You've heard very good bits. It's not all coming together, and you think there's so much potentially, and why is it not?
It's just the decline, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't say like it's a rapid decline, but compared to part 1,
definitely some slips there. Day of the Comet, very dark.
I would say it's my favorite of Series 10.
Not quite for me, second favorite.
Like, I think again, for me, you can picture it being in a quarry. It just screams
definitely
70s.
Same quarry as Genesis, and
I was thinking Hand of Fear as well.
I was thinking Genesis and Deadly Assassin. Like,
and
also I love the costumes as well that it puts in your head of like these guys in gas masks.
Yeah,
that's all great. Like that sort of again evokes Genesis for me. The rocket silo and stuff. It's got a lot of those sort of vibes to it.
It's very doom-ridden, isn't it?
Yeah, like a lot of characters don't make it out of here alive.
John Coleshaw, superb.
Yeah, he's brilliant here, and like has a nice father-daughter dynamic. That's one thing that's done very well here. That father-daughter dynamic, you believe that so well character-wise, and it gets the idea is very. This was written by Jonathan Morris, who also wrote Chase the Night. Despite Chase the Night coming out a year earlier, this was actually recorded and presumably written earlier. And it has similar ideas with like the Doctor being in this conundrum about people who are on a doomed planet or a doomed ship in one case. And so a lot of it here is Chase the Night, but less refined. It's not quite there yet. And while part 1 and 2 are brilliant, part 3 and 4 where these other aliens come in and the story very much shifts isn't quite as good in my eyes.
I mean, we do get a new series reference, which is a nice little
Yeah,
perk up moment. Like you perk up, going, okay, didn't expect that to be there.
and you think that's probably because around the time this was written, when the new series license came along, because it was
Probably.
like about or like not long after at least, so they were still testing the waters with that. Whereas now we're just getting a lot of things all over the place, so it doesn't feel quite as special, but it's still a nice moment. But yeah, the villains as well, they sort of feel overly comical and weird for a story that's quite dark.
Yeah, because it sort of goes very Hinchcliffe, and then as soon as those aliens are revealed, it's sort of Graham Williams in a way.
Yeah, I'd go Humbug again.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I'd agree. There we go.
Yeah. Tribulations of Thaddeus Nook. This one's my favourite, actually. There's a lot to love in this one for me.
Especially Thaddeus and his, what is it, Jess, the wife?
Yeah, I think not quite
Very
wife,
good.
isn't it? It's more girlfriend. And they're very much like young sweethearts. And another similar to the father-daughter dynamic in Day of the Comet, this young sweetheart relationship feels very real. It's very well done. He's very much the heart of this story. And I think it's great hearing the Fourth Doctor so serious about it all, because often he is the funny one in these serious stories. Here, it's a bit more of a silly story at first, but instead, the Doctor's being quite serious because of the nature of Thaddeus. He's just getting wound up all over the place, and it's very fun to hear Tom do that and sort of play the straight fellow to this over-the-top, eccentric actor is Thaddeus, but he's a rogue with a heart of gold, really, isn't he? And he's someone I wouldn't mind hearing more of. In fact, I showed my dad this stuff. I say showed.
Wow, how did you get the visuals for it?
Yeah, me and my dad
showed him the
listened to this
cover.
story. Yeah, me and my dad listened to this story together, and he asked me, "Is there any more of this Thaddeus Nook?" And I was like, "No, sadly not. But maybe one day. I wouldn't mind. I'd like that."
Yeah, it's a story of two halves, I think, because you get the sort of fun, like, oh, let's go and explore this sort of wacky time machine that Thaddeus has. And then you get to like the alien planet where it takes more of a serious turn then when you sort of get this alien cult brought into it, really.
Yeah,
and how that sort of plays within time.
Time travel. Yeah.
I feel like you're going to say pineapple chunks for this one.
Will you let me?
I will let you, because I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it.
It's a fun ride.
There we go. Pineapple chunk.
Okay. It's, again, Andrew Smith excelling in the four-parter format. Okay, we're near it. 2 more to go.
Yeah, I don't think Primeval Design is going to be Pineapple Chunk or Jelly Baby.
No, sadly not. But he's got great stuff in it, though. Like some great characters. I love a lot of the human conflicts. Like there's a character who's pregnant, and I think Joe Sims actually plays the like husband there.
I think he's using his native accent as well.
Yeah, he is as well, which makes sense for the setting. And so there's a lot of great moments between them, and like having Leela be in that situation is brilliant. Like a lot of the more human stuff really stands out to this. It's more the sci-fi stuff with this army of sentient walking dinosaur skeletons where it gets a bit more ridiculous.
I don't want to sound like, I mean, this sounds really bad because Doctor Who can feel very samey, but I'm like, I might have heard it in Land of the Dead. Because I had like radioactive dinosaur skeletons come into life and all that sort of stuff. So I'm like, well, kind of heard this already.
Got a bit of it in Creeping Death.
Oh yes, yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
with Dippy. Yeah.
I don't. There's a lot of bits I like in this.
I like the mystery to it. I like the build up to it.
I love how you get some Talons vibes with it, where what's the character's name? The historical figure in this one.
Oh, the person
Mary Anning.
Yeah.
She's sort of doing the post-mortem early on. That gives very much like Lightfoot vibes in Talons. And again, it's quite a grisly corpse there. And so that's quite an interesting setup there. And I just love the characters being in this world. They sort of like has a nice ending with them where they actually spend a bit of time there afterwards, like sharing tea and stuff. Or so, but yeah, it's just the sci-fi plot that lets this down. And unfortunately for a Doctor Who story, that's usually quite a big chunk.
Yeah.
But it has there's a lot of good other stuff in it as well. It just all doesn't quite work well together. But
Could argue that was the main bones of the story.
yeah, like
Like, sadly not in this case.
there's also a sword fight between the Fourth Doctor and another character that's really nice. Where he's like
is that the
using
person who
poker
played
from-
Mr. Sneed?
Might be.
The Welsh guy.
Yeah.
That was like the big house and like, yeah.
Yeah, it's all great stuff. But I want to go simple rewrite, but I don't. It's either that or I've heard better. But I feel like that's too mean because there's a lot I like in this, but the overall thing just crumbles.
It felt a bit of a slog for me personally.
Yeah, I think I felt that too, especially towards the end. Part 4 is a massive slog.
It's just like I enjoy it, but I just wanted it to be over. Just to say, right, I've done it. No disrespect to Helen Goldwyn because I think she's wonderful, great director. And she did all right in Subterfuge. Subterfuge was a good story from memory.
Oh, that was a good one. Yeah. But yeah,
There's my Rufus Hound praising for the night.
There you go.
I feel like simple rewrite for me.
Yeah, I feel like that's a nice place to put it.
Like it's one of those ones again you can visualize, especially like sort of Stone to Blood Night shoot what they would do with like that sort of grainy film quality, especially when you sort of get to I think part 2's cliffhanger.
Yeah, like early on you can. I feel like part 4 though, it's tough to visualize what's going on because the way the story's told, it's got like this big action sequence and you just can't follow what's meant to be happening.
Mm.
Here we go. Nearly
Final one.
Most
right. Where shall we go with this one?
It's got some nice moments in it. I like the Doctor reuniting with Bilal, but that feels all too short.
Like, it kind of does nothing other than, oh yeah, that's Bilal, and that's
it.
Yeah,
that's it, really, isn't it? Like Exelon itself is a huge part of the story. Like it's there at the start, but then we shift on. It's much more about Mark 7. There's some good Anya stuff in there as well. But yeah, on the whole, it's a bit of a messy one. Daleks are hardly in it as well.
Yeah, that's a big point. That's a big point.
Not that that's necessarily automatically makes something bad. Like they're hardly in Genesis, but that's a banger. But yeah, here, like I listened to it twice. I enjoyed parts of it, but on the whole, I think could have been a lot better. I think
it's non-essential.
With the Daleks less present, I was more forgiving of that at first because we got the whole of Dalek universe for that, and then they're not really in that until the finale either.
Well, so, I guess it should have been like a little foreshadowing of it's Terry Nation's world, isn't it? It's very much Terry Nation's universe. That should have been the box set instead of Dalek universe because it's a celebration of Terry Nation.
I like how it ties Exelon in with the space security service and stuff, and sort of sets death to the Daleks in like that same time period as Evil. Not Evil, sorry, Master Plan.
Oh yeah.
But
I think for me, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. Like I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'd say maybe simple rewrite or humbug.
I'd go humbug. Push humbug.
It's one of those ones that there's not much wrong with it, but there's not enough right with it.
Yeah, I think it's one of those ones where I enjoyed it, but it's not one I'd instantly go back to. But it's there. I've listened to it. I might go back in a couple of years and go, oh, I'll listen to that. But it's not immediate. Yeah, it's not a defining Fourth Doctor audio, is it really?
No, not really.
So that's our tier list. We've done it. We have managed to complete it.
Yeah. Not as much in Jelly Baby worthy, but to be
yeah.
I feel it's a weird one, the Fourth Doctor Age, because so much of it is really good, but there's not a whole lot that stands out.
I think it's more tonally. I enjoy the stories, and I think that's
you vibe with
where
them.
I get my enjoyment from. But when you sort of dissect it, you're like, yeah, maybe that story doesn't work as quite as good as much as. I think the Fourth Doctor is more of a case of I enjoy listening to them because it's Tom, and I think that's what makes it enjoyable. But this sort of almost sort of a story comes second in a way sometimes.
Yeah, I can see that.
So there we go.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be interesting to see how Series 11 fares. Will that change it up? Will we get something that's an absolute banger?
Or will it be? It's an imbecile.
Yeah.
Hopefully not. I'm very
Fingers
excited
crossed
for
not.
what information we have on that so far.
Yeah. Ravencliff Witch feels very Third Doctor even.
Very much so. Very much so.
Yeah, with like the little English coastal village and then a power plant built next to it. I suppose Hand of Fear as well sort of ties into that.
Yeah, it does actually.
Yeah.
I think out of those two stories, I think that's the one I'm most excited for.
For me, it's Blood of the Time Lords, really. Like that sort of feels more Deadly Assassin inspired. I like that we go like Tom Baker solo going back to not quite Gallifrey, or is it on Gallifrey? Oh, Moon of
It's
Gallifrey.
on like a
There
Moon
we go.
Gallifrey.
Yeah.
I feel like by saying, it seems Deadly Assassin, I feel like you're instantly putting pressure on the story.
Yeah,
like,
that's
Deadly
true,
Assassin's
but...
great, so I feel like don't really want to put pressure on it just yet.
Yeah. I do wonder how Series 11 is going to pan out now that it's part of like this relaunch thing. Like the first volume has its own title, the second volume will probably get one. I mean, like you could see that's definitely what they're going for now, with like more individual titles. Like with the Third Doctor Volume 8, when they put out that trailer, it was like monsters and myths, and you could tell like if this had come out a little bit later, they probably would have had that be the subtitle, wouldn't they?
Oh, was it called Monsters and Myths? Was it?
That's what they called it on the trailer.
What was it? I must have missed that.
Yeah, so
My
I can imagine.
excitement.
Like that's just what they titled the trailer. Like that.
Okay.
Not a thing in the video itself, and that's like what they titled the article for it. You know how sometimes they put a spin on things.
Yeah,
like with the Great Sontaran War, it's Sontarans versus Torchwood.
See, that would have been a good slipcover for Doctor Volume 8, but no, don't get them.
Yeah, so well, we're getting them now.
We're getting them now, finally.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. Because you got God of Phantoms and Lost Resort. How amazing was it just putting those two? I know they don't link in anyway, but putting those two box sets together was just so nice. Just having like 4 and 5 together, I was like, wow, I'm really liking this.
I love the slipcover style they've got now with like the white logo as well going down the side like that.
It's very sleek, and I like it.
Yeah,
very sleek.
It's a shame they don't quite line up without the Big Finish logo at the bottom of God of Phantoms for some reason.
Oh dear! I mean, the BBC logo is changing as well, so that's going to be interesting how that affects.
But that's probably not going to be too noticeable, though.
Yeah,
like,
true.
It's very minor. It's one of those things that when you look closely, you see it. But yeah. Like, I wonder from what point that'll come into effect. Like what for Big Finish, at least, like when it comes to printing the covers and putting them online.
I guess the covers are already, maybe next year at this point.
Yeah,
I guess they're already in the bag, those covers, because they've been announced, unless they tweak them at printing. I don't know.
Maybe it'd be similar to, because remember we got the covers for Rani Elite and Masters of Earth and stuff, and that had the 50th anniversary logo on it, but then the actual physical copies had the new logo.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
Something similar to that. Yeah,
may just have to wait and see, I guess.
So I think the thing with that was it was meant to be only for the 50th anniversary year to use that logo.
But I love that logo. I love that. With the
they
howl
didn't quite get the memo to Big Finish in time to say there's a new logo and how lads get this on there instead, please.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
And then that logo saw us all the way through till 2018, and then
big change up now.
Big change up, and now it's become a sort of a main staple now.
Yeah, I love how it is a logo that feels the whole of Doctor Who now. It doesn't just feel like the Joe. I don't look at it as the Jodie era logo. I look at it as the Doctor Who logo.
Yeah, because before it was like it's wrong. Yeah, I think they branded it as Heritage and then Current, didn't they? I think that's the way they marketed it. It's weird.
Yeah, like it was the Smith Capaldi kind of logo that was the modern. Then we had that the
McGann logo,
yeah, it's the Heritage one. But yeah, it's nice to have it just like all together now, and obviously that's much better on the shelf when you have those slip covers that match up for new series and classic. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see whether things change or not. But I mean, they will eventually. There's no way they can't. But I'd like it to stick around for a while longer.
I mean, I'd like the logo to stay for the collection box set.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Chapman tweeted out about that, saying, "I don't imagine they're going to change."
Oh, like I mean, RTD's a fan at heart,
he
so
doesn't. Yeah,
please let it stay.
And also, I think things like the RTD era logo. Well, I like the logo. It is very much connected to the RTD era.
Yeah,
Like
I do
it's
feel that.
it's quite a bombastic logo as well. I like when you have the like you couldn't really put that logo easily on a Big Finish cover or something, unless it was specific.
No, because it's like a surfboard, isn't it? And for me, it seems wrong reversing the covers, to be honest, because I don't feel like the logo fits on the cover. Like I just prefer the default cover, really.
Yeah. Well, imagine if in 2005, when a new series came back, all the Big Finish covers had that. It just wouldn't.
That'd be weird. Like to be honest, it seems weird having on like the classic figures. To be honest, like when they were coming out in the RTD era.
Yeah,
that did seem very weird.
It's like similar to something like the 80s logo, like Fifth or Sixth Doctor. That wouldn't really work on any other Doctor.
That's true.
Yeah, but the McGann logo sort of does suit all of Doctor Who. It's one of
for me, it's the iconic logo. That's what I think of when I think of like the Doctor Who logo.
Yeah, good little logo discussion going.
There we go. Yeah, not shortbread.
Yeah, I like they've switched it to white now with the new one. I think that does help.
I think it just helps. Instead of like the gold makes it clash with certain colors, I think the white just makes it look stylish and sleek, and you're like, that's really nice.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, so Series 13 just around the corner, actually.
Yeah, well, we're nearly under a week, which is mental. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Going to be an interesting ride to see how that pans out.
I did really enjoy the trailer. I will say that.
Yeah, I think the trailer was needed. Whether it was too late, we'll just have to wait and see. But I'm just happy we have it now, and we're getting footage and information, and I'm really excited for it. Actually, I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see now with the format change what they can do with that, and if this will be Chibnall thriving much more in this start. And it's something that I've wanted Doctor Who to do for a while, like to go full on with this more serialized approach, because it's what most TV does nowadays.
Well, especially like streaming platforms, they've gone very much serialized, and it'd be interesting to see whether they drop the whole series on iPlayer afterwards, which I doubt they would do. But it'd be interesting. It'd be an interesting experiment to see if
I think they would have announced that by now as well.
Yeah, true.
And also I think again TV trends, it is more less for the binge model now. Like I think a lot of places have realized that's outdated because it doesn't allow as much discussion. Like week to week, you can theorize, you could talk to people because you know at what point you're at.
But yeah, like the Line of Duty and I think Vigil as well, they were sort of big talking points in TV and film.
Yeah,
really.
And that's like what Disney Plus has done with Mandalorian, WandaVision, Loki. It's very much that style now. It's only really Netflix that still sticks with the dropping it all at once model. And again, that's sort of like something where you talk vaguely about it with friends, but a lot of the time you're at different points with it.
And they sort of blend into one, I guess.
Yeah.
As well.
And so like by the time the slow friend who's just finished it has done it, you've sort of like already moved on to the next thing. Anyway, so you never really get a chance to properly discuss it.
That's basically us with Big Finish because you're way ahead of me normally.
You've got a head start on me at the moment with the Third Doctor.
You'll probably still finish it before me.
I think you got a head start on Dalek Universe as well. Did
I
you
did,
finish
and then
that after me?
No, I finished it last night. I think, or the other day, Tuesday maybe.
Yeah. When did I? Yeah, so you took a big gap between.
It's just life, isn't it? Just life.
Yeah. Not Dalek Defense. Yeah, that's fair.
I think as well, Dalek Universe. I didn't want it to end, so I was like literally 10 minutes a night. That's my little fix.
I got through each episode in one night. Like I just went for it and listened to it all.
I got through most of it in like the first 2 episodes. I got through in a day.
Yeah,
just because I wanted to know what that cliffhanger was. Yeah, same day. I wanted to know what that cliffhanger was.
No, didn't want it spoiled.
I didn't want it spoiled, and I'm not going to spoil it now.
No. Yeah, it's a chunky one, the last part as well, isn't it? Like that was, I was sort of thinking, am I going to get through this all in one night? But I went for it and managed it.
Yeah, because I think it was like 70 minutes, wasn't it, that story?
Yeah. Well, that's going to be interesting to squeeze onto a vinyl.
Oh, wow. Didn't think it might be a double LP, that one.
I think they would have announced it if it was. But it seems to be. Yeah. I think they could just about fit it. It looks like 35 minutes is nearly their max.
They might have to cut like the music or something like the credits.
I will say the cliffhanger for I checked on the downloads. The cliffhanger for the First Son is actually really well chosen.
Okay.
I like the way they haven't split it down the middle as such. They've it's more like I think it's a 25-minute episode than like a 35-minute episode. Yeah, and it's really well. It's actually it's the moment that's in the trailer as well. If that gives you a hint.
Okay, I'll have to re-listen to the trailer just to pinpoint it.
Yeah, it's where like the Doctor's shouting "River" in the trailer.
Oh, yeah. I know.
Yeah, it works very well as a cliffhanger. Funnily enough, because a lot of these Dalek Universe finals, they'll just pick the end of a scene that's somewhere near the middle of the story, and not always does that scene end up working as a cliffhanger in the middle of an episode. But yeah, stories like that. And what is it? Planet of the Ends. That's another one that has a really good cliffhanger chosen.
I still yet to crack open the Eccleston vinyl, actually.
Yeah, I haven't actually listened to that one yet either.
It's going to be. I'll have to revisit that in time for Volume 3.
Yeah, especially Fright Motif. I'm looking forward to that on vinyl because it very much suits it.
Well, especially in the story in is it like the middle section when they return?
Yeah,
to,
there even is a vinyl player. Yeah.
So it definitely fits that.
Yeah, like the whole music being a theme in it and such. Yeah, it's going to be exciting. Gosh. Yeah, I suppose that's the next big thing to look forward to, isn't it? Lost Warriors.
I see. I sort of feel like River New Recruits is up there for me. Maybe because I'm Doctor.
But in terms of general appeal, I feel like that's more like our niche in a way.
That's our corner of Big Finish.
Yeah, it's like both our corners converging, isn't it? Like
basically, yeah.
Both River and Third Doctor are sort of these things we both love.
Yeah, it's going to be. I'm excited for that one. Then, of course, we'll do a River tier list.
Yeah, get on that.
Get on that one. Get making that one.
Yeah.
Hopefully, do a River sale so I can get box set 2. Otherwise, it'll be you covering that as well.
Yeah, you tempted to buy anything on the Torchwood sale?
I'm tempted by Corpse Day.
I think that's one that's interested you for a while.
Yeah, it has, and The Crown because we've talked about doing something with The Crown.
Yeah, sneak peek at what might be coming up. Yeah, I'll probably pick up The Crown as well.
Yeah. I want to listen to The Crown now, but I'm like, savor it.
Yeah, it'd be better for Christmas, wouldn't it? Or nearer Christmas.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out when we can. Well, it depends when the other one is out for that.
Yeah, that'd be exciting times.
I was tempted to get like one of the Tosh ones. I think, is it the Vigil?
Is that the one where she's like got the candlestick on the cover?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Tosh ones are meant to be really good, aren't they?
Yeah, I've not got a Tosh one yet. Actually, that's the thing. I've not got a Tosh one, which is sad because I like Tosh.
I've got Zone 10, I think it is, like one of the earlier ones, but that's about it. I think that's like her first one for Big Finish as well.
Yeah, I think Zone 10 was her first one.
Yeah,
I think this is. Oh, go on.
I was expecting an announcement today, actually, of like what's coming up after.
Well, I think of after You Know Who, it's kind of all up in the air like that. Really.
Yeah. No, but we still got like Torchwood in January, February, and March announced. But I was expecting some details on one of those. Oh, actually, the January one has been recorded. It's got a recorded date of 6th of September.
Okay, so it's been recorded fairly recently.
Yeah. 2nd of September for February. So what about nothing for the March one yet, though? Yeah, certainly Torchwood is in an awkward predicament, unfortunately.
Yeah, but I feel like they're thriving, though. I think it makes them a bit more creativity because we wouldn't have got like Zachary Cross or Adam.
I feel like, I feel like it might go down a similar route to what they've done with Blake Seven, where they've lost both the main cast members there, in different circumstances.
Yeah, very different
sort of expanding into the world of Blake Seven is what they've, and I don't think they'll call it the worlds of Torchwood because that's already what Torchwood is at the moment at Big Finish. At least, but I think we are going to see like more box sets focused on these different characters. Like I very much want Andy and Owen to get a box set together.
Yeah, because they've become like very much the pairing, haven't they?
Yeah, so it'd be interesting to explore a whole box set with them, get a larger scale story. Maybe have like Gwen or Yanta or something like as a guest in it, but like still the main focus be those two.
No, I just have to wait and see what they do with Torchwood.
Yeah, it's in an interesting state at the moment. But
did you pick up the Sontaran Games?
What, the book?
On
or the Great Sontaran
War.
War.
Great Sontaran War. Sorry, Sontaran.
They're all over the place.
They're all over now. Yeah.
No, I haven't yet. I thought when I first saw the cover, I was like, yes, I really want this.
Yeah.
I'd recently watched what's the third story of season 24, Delta and Abandonment, for the first time, and that sort of had a similar vibe to it with like this Welsh caravan park. And so I was sort of like on that high. Then after a while, I was sort of thinking, do I really need this? The trailer's not done much for me. I don't know, I'm sort of going off this a bit, and now it's come out, I'm sort of thinking, maybe I do want this actually.
Yeah,
so we'll see. We'll see how it pans out. But yeah, certainly there is one Torchwood coming up that I definitely want.
Oh yeah, the good old Christmas special.
Yeah. And maybe Red List as well.
Yeah,
we've been without Ace for a while.
I do enjoy like the older Ace stuff, what they've done recently. So yeah, especially like the season 26 trailer and At Childhood's End. I've enjoyed that sort of stuff they've done.
Yeah, I think pairing her up with what's his name as well, Paul Clayton's character, John Colchester.
Oh, Mr. Colchester.
Yeah,
he's very good.
Yeah, that's like a good pairing between the two, and it'd be nice to hear a bit of him because I never bothered with Aliens or God Among Us. So.
Oh wait, he was my favorite thing about the new Torchwood stuff.
He seems like a pretty good part of it. Like
I love him. He's good.
Yeah.
He's just constantly grumpy.
Yes, that'd be nice to hear. Are you tempted by that one then?
Oh, it's one of those ones where I guess it would be spur of the moment going, oh, go on then.
Yeah.
Like it's not an immediate go-to because there's just so much coming out really.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it?
And I don't want to be too frivolous with it all really. Yeah.
I will Torchwood thing I will be picking up though. Torchwood, Soho, Ashenden.
I'm surprised you haven't picked that up actually.
Waiting to get like big bunch of them once
Okay.
for the songs out. Get my 10% discount.
I mean, you did crap on the cover, so I'm,
Yeah,
hopefully it's
not
better than the
great.
cover.
Yeah, I listened to the 3-part one, and that was a good bit of fun. Good bit of creepy as well. Like, there's some dark moments in that already.
Is it still keeping the same format as the first Soho box set?
Yeah, it's still 6 half-hour episodes.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, I think. Well, is there anything else we should talk about?
Can I just have a quick blitz through the chat quickly?
Yeah, let's
have a quick little blitz, and then we call it a night. I mean, if we go for another 4 minutes and then we wrap up at a nice little time.
Hello, stylish one.
Hello. Good to have you here. Right to the top of the chat.
Yeah. Hot take. Fourth Doctor Adventures. I think series 8. Talk about here. Volume 1 is my most disappointing finished release. I still had such high expectations, and it was fine at best. Still, Anne Kelso is really enjoyable companion paired perfectly with Tom. Will you be picking anything up in the Tortured sale? We've already answered that one.
Yeah, we've covered that one.
Happy 15th anniversary to Torchwood and happy 5th anniversary to Class.
We're not celebrating Class. Sorry.
No. But hoping there's a series 2 on Big Finish. Same here, to be fair. I won't pick it up, but I think the fans of Class deserve that continuation.
Well, he's revealed details, hasn't he, Patrick Ness, about what the series would have been. So maybe Big Finish.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, I didn't actually look into that, but
I think they were going to be flung back to the 90s, and apparently April would get back to her own body. I don't know. I've not watched Class, so I can't say I know the full gist of it.
It sounds like an interesting idea, at least, to mix it up. Not having a 90s setting. It would at least give the show a bit more of a unique identity.
But then it would have gone very Buffy, wouldn't it? Because that was 90s.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was the whole inspiration for it originally, wasn't it?
Yeah. So that would have been interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Class never did a whole lot for me.
Do you recommend Series 6 to people who don't like Season 18? Some of the stories intrigue me, but personally I find Season 18 almost unwatchable and my least favourite classic season by far. I would say go for Series 6 because it's got some corkers.
A lot of them feel more like Season 17 as well. Like they are sort of a nice balance between the two.
Because you still get like the hard sci-fi in places, but it does. Because I think that's interesting. Because like Season 18, people perceive the Fourth Doctor as this really grumpy, hates life. But you watch like some stories, he's still cracking jokes and smiling. But there is more of a somberness to him.
Yeah, especially towards the end once Romana's gone.
Yeah, that's when it sort of shifts. But you don't get that sort of broodiness in that Series 6 audios.
No. The Silent Scream has the best Big Finish sidebar, in my opinion. Yes, it definitely does. And that's definitely one that's worth picking up out of that series.
Definitely. More 8 and Charlie. I'm mixed on the era overall, but I've had massive highs, and hopefully the upcoming box set can recapture some of those highs. Yeah, very excited for that.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll talk about that more with James if we can get him on.
Yeah.
Since he's been revisiting that.
Yeah, we covered Dalek Universe one with him, so we got to get him in here for the closing of that.
Lost Stories individual covers might be my least favorite set of 9 Doctor covers. Oh no, I quite like them personally.
I hate especially the Cyberman one, and I say the first one as well. The Curse of Lady Macbeth, I'm so on, but
I think what I like about it is it's using different Eccleston photos, and I think that's what I like.
Yeah,
it's not your standard Eccleston photo, so I think that's what makes me go, oh, they're nice.
Yeah, I think the odd thing about Eccleston is he doesn't have that much variety when it comes to photos.
Yeah,
like just when it comes to poses, like a lot of the other Doctors have more expression to them. But with his Doctor, he's much more somber. It's much more underneath, isn't it? And so that's carried across in his body language a lot of the time. Unless you got the Doctor dances, but I don't think anything like that's going to make it onto a cover.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna.
Yeah, like I said, he's so far you could go with that. Yeah. And I think the costume as well, like it's not one that the wind could get swept up under it, is it? It's not one that has much variety to it. It's brilliant, but when it comes to covers, you do get a bit limited after a while.
Very much so.
Do you think maybe we'll see Eccleston in a different costume one day on a cover?
I would
Like
love
just a one-off
that.
story, yeah.
Much like, you know, that photo of him done for like the Titanic with like the top hat and he's like that.
Oh, yeah.
I'd like that to be used on a cover at some point.
Yeah, that'd be good.
But they've done that story in a short trip, so.
But they can always do something else, like Victorian times or something.
Yeah,
Be
true.
a chimney sweep.
Yeah, that would work.
Yeah.
Get him dressed as like Colin from the Jago and Lightfoot Series 11 cover.
Yeah, I think I do. Yeah. Funny hunting season. It looks like he's just rolling his eyes on that cover.
True. I mean, that's just Sassy 9.
Yeah, I like the variety of colours as well. Like,
I like the mixture of like red and sort of yellow and green. It's just very. They sort of match that sort of vanilla DVD release, don't they? With that sort of one color.
And the like the mad scientist face in the background of Monsters in Metropolis does a lot for me too. Like that very much suits those vibes. And do you recommend Series 9 to people who don't like Season 18? The series sounds fantastic to me, but I'm not a fan of Season 18, and I wouldn't get it if it's similar to TV stories. I'd say same vibe, but different, like, style of stories in terms of quality. I think it depends on your opinion on State of Decay as well.
Yeah.
Like, because that's one that even people who really dislike that season will still rate quite highly, so... Yeah, like even if something like that can shine through, then this is more stories like that, perhaps.
Fourth Doctor Series 7 is on sale at the moment. Do you recommend? Luke, take it away since you've re-listened to it.
Yeah, I'd say I'd recommend it. How much is it on sale for? I didn't realise that was...
I didn't know it was on sale, actually.
No.
I'm falling behind.
Come on. I'd say maybe if you can only get one volume, I'd say go for volume 1. No, it's not on sale at the moment.
Oh, isn't it?
Series 7. Yeah. I can't quite see.
Or maybe it's on sale somewhere else. I don't know.
It might be. But yeah, if you want to get just one, I'd say volume 1's worth the go. If you want to get both, it wouldn't be too bad a purchase. It depends what other Fourth Doctor series you have, because there are probably better ones out there, but you wouldn't go too far wrong with it, let's say.
Torchwood recommendations. I haven't listened to enough to give recommendations, to be honest.
No, I said Made You Look. If you haven't got that one, that's
Is that on sale?
One. Yeah, they're all on sale pretty much.
All right, if that's on sale, I'll pick up that one. I'll pick that one up as well.
Yeah, I think that's probably like £4 maybe now.
I'll pick that one up. I think Night of the Fendel was my pick. I enjoyed that one a lot.
Oh yeah. This is sort of like similar to that where it's Gwen Horror. $4.99 for CD for Made You Look. So
I'm adding that to my fat order.
Yeah, there you go.
It
is.
Oh, it's half price from DWM. Oh yeah.
there you go.
There we go. Yeah.
Oh, is that sort of tying in with that Night of the Vashtanrada giveaway as well?
I've got the Ninth Doctor Chronicles on sale as well, which I'm like, do I take the risk and buy it?
No. I mean, you've got more Ninth Doctor coming out.
Yeah, I've got
every 3 months for the next year and a bit. So
yeah, we've got proper Eccleston now. So
yeah. I think Made You Look as well is probably quite good around this time of year because it's like set in an off-season seaside town. As this is about right time of year for that, where it's all
right.
Run down.
If you've sold it, I'm gonna get it.
But there might be others listening who aren't quite sold yet and need that little extra push. Yeah, great horror stuff there. With a monster you can't see, it plays on that very well.
Do you look at Owen differently after seeing Burn Gorman in Game of Thrones? Yes, I do.
Oh god. Didn't realise he was in. He's in that Enola Holmes thing with Millie Bobby Brown, where she's like playing Sherlock Holmes's younger sister. It's really weird seeing him in that because he's a lot older.
He looks really different in Game of Thrones as well. It's strange.
Yeah, it's true. Like, he doesn't look too different when you look at the behind the scenes photos with Big Finish. Like, you recognise him, but then other places, it's like, wait, is that Burn Gorman?
It's strange. Have you ever bought any Big Finish merch, like their jumpers, bibs, and stickers? No, not really. The CDs are enough for me.
Yeah, I think I'll stick to the CDs and a couple of vinyls.
Did you get the free Big Finish poster they released on Twitter? It even included an alternate Dead Media cover. I didn't do that, actually.
I
had a look at it.
Oh, yeah, I remember seeing. That was bizarre, because it's like a different photo of Capaldi, isn't it?
Yeah, it's from Heaven Sent, that photo, yeah. There's my inner fan brain going, that's where that photo is from.
I think with Capaldi, you just like, you get a ruler out, don't you? You put it to the hair and you see, we're this far into his era.
I mean, Series 8, it fluctuates, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
You go from Robot or Sherwood, you got a bit of fluff, and then you go to Listen, Time Heist, and then Caretaker. It's back. It's magic.
And then Flatline, infamously, he gets a haircut halfway through.
Yeah, it's bizarre. I'm sure there's going to be a Big Finish story about 12 Doctor's hair.
The 12th Doctor's haircut.
That would be like a fun like River story, like a good jokey River story. I feel like that would suit a River box set.
Yeah, she just breaks into the TARDIS, cuts his hair,
and it's just a wig. Oh, there we go. I think that's a good place to wrap it up. So yeah, thank everyone for your questions, and thank you for people who've watched the whole thing and seen us basically go through all of the Fourth Doctor stuff.
If you have the time and you want to, there is the tier list. I think, have you linked it in the description?
Not yet, because it was literally a mad dash to get on here.
Yeah, you can easily edit that in later, and you can easily find that there and go off, make your own, and then tweet at us, perhaps.
Yeah, I'd be very excited to do that, and hopefully we'll be back next week to talk Dalek Universe, possibly. Fingers crossed.
Maybe,
everything goes well.
If not, perhaps Third Doctor Adventures tier list. We've got one of those coming at some point.
Yeah.
Lots of exciting stuff on the way.
A lot of exciting things to come. We've got plenty of tier lists, animations, you name it. Shortbread tier list. We got you covered. We got you covered. So yeah, thank you everyone for joining us, and we'll see you very soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.